Shalom.
What the bleep? What the bleep? Man, that was too short. No promos. Y'all can kiss me. We'll do some promos in a little while, people. We ain't doing that right now.
Come on, Joe. Give us a song.
This.
Do some
Give
song.
it. We just, I was thinking. What was I listening? I was listening to some. What was I listening to last night? Oh, I was listening to Metallica last night. I was listening to some Metallica. Nothing else matters, and then I was listening to Stairway to Heaven because Leah had been talking about Stairway to Heaven. I mean Led Zeppelin. I wasn't actually listening to Stairway to Heaven. I was listening to the Immigrant Song, which is one of my favorites.
I like the Immigrant Song.
Yeah. I don't know why. It's just one of my favorites. You know what else I like they did? Hangman.
I haven't heard that one.
Great.
It's the same song. But anyway, we'll play it later on. But anyway, how y'all guys doing? It's good. I was hanging out with some cute girls earlier, not you ugly bastards.
I was watching.
Hey, wait, why am I not on the kid?
I was watching the show, guys. I was watching the show.
One girl had some serious hair, man.
Joe, I sent you a picture in the messenger. You got to put that picture up.
Messenger. Oh, I got over Facebook.
Accosted by this giant thing today in the tractor store.
Let me go find some Facebook. Oh, I'm getting spooked.
You got
out.
what, Michael?
I go to the tractor store to buy cat food and birdseed. I was accosted by this. I turned the aisle and this just big freaking thing was there.
See it, hold on. We'll give me a second. I'll put it up.
Dude, I was trying to wrap my mind around what the fuck.
So I got to tell you something. Let me drag it up here right quick. Share screen. Where's it?
And then I'm thinking, why would they?
Okay, where's it at? Okay. All right, see this thing? Look, it was trying to rape Mike as well.
It was trying to rape
Oh my God.
The rooster, man. The rooster's trying to get him.
That thing is 6 feet tall, man.
So it's funny because all around the South, they have these things like that. They also have giant pelicans and giant stuff like that because over the years, I've made Linda get out in front of them, different things and take pictures. That giant dolphin. I mean, you name it. There's some kind of giant animal. Well, there's a feed store.
Anything like this, man.
Well, there's a feed store that has about 8 of these in there. And when you walk out, going out the front, when you're walking out the front door, they're on these little things and they all turn beak towards you all at the same time, looking at you as you walk through.
I'm thinking about buying it now, man, and putting it outside. Like
some of them bitches are expensive, man. You gotta watch.
And I want to put like lights.
Yeah, they
I want to put like colored lights, every like yellow for yellow and green for green. Oh, who needs a big 6-foot cock in the front yard? You know what I mean? or I'd be the cock king of the neighborhood. Like, isn't that like a message to people?
I'm not even touching that, my brother.
Me neither, brother.
Me neither. You know?
We'll leave that for Jay. Jay can touch that if he wants to.
Well, Jay's got Home Depot. Home Depot have it like this, man.
No, there was a year when I was working at the Home Depot here in Hagerstown. They weren't quite that tall, but they were like that. They were like horribly bad. They were made in China for one thing, but they were, they had razor sharp pieces. Like the wings were like you wouldn't want to walk by it with like shorts on.
Even better for security, man. Like someone stumble around the dark and they got cut in pieces by a giant 6-foot Chinese chicken on my front lawn.
We would scan through Mike's pictures here, but there might be some.
It's probably surveillance. It's probably a camera. The Chinese are surveilling us, man. I was trying to wrap my head. Who the hell wants that outside their house? But I think there probably are people, man.
Oh, there's people out there. I see that kind of shit all over the place, man. Especially the further you get out into the Kuyon, Wood, man, they all kind of stuff like that. You get up in Arkansas.
And that thing was 6 feet tall. I'm thinking like what? Like why? Like why? Like why? Why?
Yeah. Well, they do all kind, and they do them in a lot of variety of colors and all sorts of stuff. It's a thing. Well, some people got the thing where they put roosters all over their kitchens.
I don't even know who has the kind of money to buy something like that.
I've seen them do.
I mean, I buy stupid stuff, but not. I have my limitations. You know what I mean?
I mean, my kitchen is themed color wise, but other than that, I mean, it's not like
you want a 6-foot cock in your kitchen? You should buy it. See, your wife says, man.
I mean,
walk in the kitchen one morning and make coffee.
She would throw the fucking thing in the bayou. That's where I would look out and there'd be like a chicken head bobbing up and down in the bayou.
I put a speaker in its mouth and be like, hello, baby. Hello.
It's just kind of funny.
Want to pet my feathers.
Raymond, you can go. What do we got open? Let's see. We've got Facebook. Okay, we got News on the Flip Side Facebook, UFO United Public Radio Facebook, iCar Facebook, my personal page with the suit I'm wearing on. Then we got 2 YouTubes, Roku, and what the hell's it called? Rumble.
I gotta say this, dude.
And remember, you rookies, y'all can be adding your pages when you come in here.
There was
you got to come in as guests, don't you? Never mind.
There was a guy that was working there at the store, like register, right? He had a mask on, and he was hacking his guts out, man. Like, whooping cough is going around. Plus, that Chinese sickness is going around too. This guy's coughing his nuts off.
Whooping crane sickness.
Yeah, man, I didn't go near it.
Guy pan sickness.
But that's the kind of guy that's going to make everybody sick, man. I'm cashier, and then you're dealing with the public, and But most likely, he couldn't afford to stay home because most companies won't pay you to stay home with sick. It should be a law.
So how's the weather down there, Joe? It's freezing.
How's the weather?
Cold.
It's freezing up here.
Cold. So we're going to be, where are we going to be, right? So for the next 3 days, we'll be right around 30.
That's
30,
not
32. For us, let me tell you what, no rookies.
For down
I don't have no humidity up there, man. You don't know what cold is till you come
We're
down.
literally having a heat wave. It's going to be 38 here this week.
So, and now next week, 22, 23, 24 all week. That's all the whole
Dude,
week. That's where it's going to be.
Honest to God, I woke up to go to work this morning, and it was freaking 8 degrees.
Yeah, that's marvelous stuff.
I got friends in Georgia.
Snow last night.
I have friends in Georgia posting pictures of snow. Like, look at the snow. Like they would.
Oh man, all the South got snow, but only all the South got snow, but from like the center up. Along the coast,
last night, man.
We didn't see any snow. Now they got about a foot in northern Mississippi. Atlanta got a pretty good amount. Tennessee, Arkansas got a pretty good amount.
Florida,
Atlanta got some.
Florida didn't get any. Florida. If they did, they got like a dusting at the very top of Florida. Florida's
but that's
too
enough
warm.
to crush the city. And they could.
It never got into any cities because it didn't go to. Jackson would have been the closest city it could have got to. And it wouldn't have made Jackson. It's on the Atlantic.
Well, when I was in Savannah, I was there for 13 years. It snowed at least twice that I remember, and both times it was what we would consider a dusting. For them, it was an inch, a half an inch. It was a half an inch. It was killer. But people were unable to drive on it, and they were actually thinking about. The only place that had snow treatment equipment was in Atlanta, which is 4 hours away. And they were going to try to transfer some of that down from Atlanta to treat the roads. And why bother? And in 4 hours, it's going to melt away.
1983, I was in Charleston, South Carolina. And it was like 33 degrees. And it was a snowflakes. It was a dusting. They closed the whole city of Charleston down. And they closed the whole school district down.
Yeah.
People had their winter coats on, and we're out there in windbreakers and hoodies.
Mm-hmm.
It was, we just, unfortunately for us, I mean, when I was in New Orleans, we've seen snow every 10 years, like clockwork, about 2 inches. The idiots here didn't stop. They just drove anyway. And of course, none of them have any concept of driving on ice, so it's just smash them up there and be all over the place. And I was fortunate because I was up, I did a lot of driving up north when I was younger, so I actually understood how to drive on it. But we sat there, I was making bets with people on how far cars would slide through the stop sign, or if they were going to get hit or not. But we were sitting there because a friend of mine was driving my car said, "Stop." And I'm like, "Why?" I said, "Just stop. You ain't driving my car anymore. Get out of the car. You have never driven on snow or ice. Get out of my car." I said, "Why?" I said, "Well, when you were going to wait to stop," I said, "You notice you stopped right here. Now we're at the stop sign, and you stopped in the middle of the block." I said, "If you just stopped at the stop sign, you seen that guy right there in that truck would have smashed my car to bits and pieces." I said, "Drive no car, man." Sit your ass over here. Let me explain how you had his words. And we don't have chains or salt or any of that stuff down here, so there's no relief to any ice we get.
Treatment equipment, yeah.
So if we, at least y'all get a break. I mean, y'all, somewhere along the line, they're going to clean the ice up and salt it out, and scrape it off. But
listen, you'll like this story. When I was in college in Savannah, we had like the 1 inch or so that came down, and I lived on this street called Price Street, which is a one-way street going one direction. I think it's westerly towards. It was away from the ocean, and it's a 35-mile-an-hour road. But most people went down there like at 45 miles an hour when it was the dry road. And I literally, my front door came out onto the sidewalk on that street. People would go 35, 45 miles an hour right in front of it. So I step out. I'm about to go to class, and then they had an inch of snow had hit the ground. I open the door, I close the door, and I turn around, and I see this car coming down the road at 45 miles an hour with his blinker on. I'm like, "You're not going to make it. You're not going to make it." And I'm just saying this to myself because I know how to drive on ice and snow, and I don't go anywhere. I'm standing directly. My back is literally my front door is like holding me up, and this car zooms past me and goes, bam, right into the stop sign kitty corner from where he was trying to turn. And I'm like, damn. I look to go and start. Wait, I go to look and go walking again, and there's another car coming and sees him, and they try to stop to avoid him. Instead of changing lanes, they just slam on their brakes and go, and like they make it okay, but they stop like 3 blocks away from where they wanted to stop. And I look both ways again. I turn around, go back in my house, and close the door. I didn't go to school that day.
No, you know what? Up here,
too, by the way.
you know that up here, like in Pittsburgh, we have mountains, we have hills all over the place.
Yeah.
And if it's like really icy out, we don't go nowhere, dude. I mean, it's instant crash.
Oh yeah,
I
it should
mean-
be slip sliding away, man. I mean, it's ridiculous.
I don't care how long you've been driving on the ice or how long you've been driving in snow. You're never good enough for ice.
I tell you what, we got in trouble. I was stationed in Millington, Tennessee, and it snowed like a bitch, about 1.5 feet, maybe 2 foot. And a friend of mine's got a motorcycle. He said, "Look, I got these special tires." And he said, "You know what? And I got this thing you can take off the front tire and put this sled on it." I'm like, "Really?" He's like, "Yeah." And so the front, they had a sled on the back. They had a wheel that went on with these spikes, but it had little sleds on the side of it. I'm like, what the hell kind of? So we got on this thing and went riding. Right?
Oh yeah, you got to be careful.
Man.
That's
We're
one of those.
idiots,
Hey,
man.
y'all, watch this thing.
Oh no, we're idiots. We wrecked more times, and I thank God there was a lot of snow around because we wrecked it several times. Then this cop comes along and said, "What the bleep bleep bleep?
Hey,
You
Doc.
bleep 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 into my highway bleep bleep. Look at you're ripping up the bleep 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 the asphalt." I mean, this is cussing us left and right.
Yeah.
And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" He said, "Look at the holes you're leaving in them big old spikes. You can't have them on the highway." We
No,
were, man.
Yeah,
We leave a hole in the asphalt like this.
like
Well, you
seriously,
get stuck.
like
Oh,
up
yeah.
here, at one time we used chains on our tires.
Yes.
Can't do it no more. You cannot
Well,
use
Studded tires in the winter.
you can't use studded tires no more in the
You
winter.
can't use them in the summer. You can use them in the winter here in New York.
Well, you know, they got now. I've seen these come out. They got these new ones coming out. They're like a chain, but they're plastic. Yeah,
Yes.
and they're environmental friendly. So they said these should be easily to use. He said they'll actually work better than a chain. He said when they get as they warm up, they hold heat better. He said so to help to melt the ice and get a better grip when it touches asphalt or concrete. I was like, that's cool. So the guy puts them on and goes for a drive, wipes the fucking truck out into the side of a light pole. I mean, literally just bends it in half. I'm like, how well things are actually working here, man. And the other guy's like, but I seen a guy driving. I said, well, you know, commercials are kind of staged, man. Maybe they went out and tried this on a few of them, and what they were doing was they were putting them on inverted,
Backwards.
upside down, basically. Yeah. The grippy part was facing inward towards the tire, and the parts facing out was just slick plastic. They made it worse. It's what they did. Get idiots, man. I mean, read the instructions, people. Jesus.
Yes, yes.
Because that's what he did. He put the slick side out towards the street and the grippy side. Because it's kind of like a, it's got little things on it, and part of it's soft, part of it's hard. So it grabs when it hits stuff and it cuts through snow and ice. I don't know. You know, people shouldn't live in the snow.
No.
You know what? We talked about this the other day. If you could live if you had to live only in the United States where it was safe, no hurricanes, no earthquakes, no floods, no fires, no tornadoes. I mean, we could have a population of about maybe 5 million, maybe 6. I mean, everywhere in this country, this may be one of the most fertile countries on the planet, but it is because it's one of the most dangerous weather active places on the planet. I mean, we got 3 volcanoes and a and a caldera, 4 volcanoes and a caldera. Sorry, and then we've got earthquakes that can happen anywhere east of the west of the Mississippi on any given time, and east of the Mississippi they can happen there too. And I didn't actually know that the Mississippi's on top of a fault line. That was kind of interesting to find out. It's a minor one, but and I didn't know that Louisiana and Mississippi could have earthquakes.
So you live in an RV and drive out of there when some stuff happens.
Do you know what would happen to New Orleans or any city in the South if there was an earthquake? Because we're not built like normal cities. We're
New
built
York
on top
City,
of. We would
dude.
slosh.
If there was an earthquake, there would be no more New York City. All those old
But it would just crumble. At least y'all would crumble.
Yeah.
We would slosh. I mean, literally, we would go like a 50-mile area. We just go whoosh and slosh.
Really?
Oh yeah, because it's not attached to anything. There's all the hard rock. It's just a bunch of sediment and stuff. Really great
You'd be all
soil.
right
All
in
just
the
piling
bayou.
up. It's bad, man.
You'd be all right, man.
Oh man.
But yeah, New Orleans.
Now where I live right here, the ground's
Crumble.
a lot harder. But I
Would be
also
like
live
crumbled
below sea
feta
level.
cheese.
I'm 10 feet below sea level where I'm at right now.
All my analogies tonight are going to be
Technically, my ass would be sitting in the water right now.
Oh wow.
So,
So is Mississippi where you live at, Joe? Is it safer than being in New Orleans?
oh God, yes, it's safer to be in Mississippi. Actually, where I'm at, all right, y'all gonna have to give me about 10 minutes to go through all of this. So, long time ago when I was a kid, it's a place called Pass Christina Isles, which is 2 blocks from where I live right now. I spent most of my summers and a lot of my holidays growing up there. We had a nice camp we used to come up to and hang out on. And I explored all in the area. Well, during Hurricane Betsy, my dad, for whatever reason, his dumb ass decided he was going to stay here for Hurricane Camille. Well, guess what? We had to leave. So we're leaving. We get up to the road. You get on the bridge to cross over, and a wave, just like a super wave, comes up, grabs the car. It's one of the big white Cadillacs with the fins on it, drags it out to the ocean. As we're being dragged out to the ocean, by the way, my mom could not swim a lick, and I could barely dog paddle. And chain link fence caught wrapped around the muffler and stopped the car.
Oh
Stopped
wow.
it cold. So I gave my dad time. So my dad got out the car, left us there, went and go find help in the middle of a hurricane, found some people somewhere to come help us get out of there. And I still remember seeing things like the water was filling up the inside of the car. You know how they got those lights on the doors in the old days? They were still on. They were glowing red and yellow and shit. The car was bobbing and weaving and the little lights were flashing. And I remember that. Well, that is literally 100 yards from where I live right now, or less.
Wow. Wow.
Now, on top of all of that, we have had more sightings and more experiences in this 5-block area than most places we have traveled. Right, not even 2 blocks left of me is where the 2 state troopers were sitting out chit-chatting when the thing came out of the water. They got it on video. It just came out of the water, came hovering over them. You could hear these 2 guys are
Maybe
flipping
they're
out.
there because of you. Did you think?
I don't know, but they were flipping out.
They're following you. Or
I
you're
have had a
connected.
lot of
Maybe you're
weird
like
stuff
the
happening.
gatekeeper, but like this is your conscious
But
life.
it amazes me.
You have
But
a show.
so think about it. So one evening, we had a Christmas party at the Bicycle Club in New Orleans. This old guy's about 92 years old. He's sitting out in the breezeway, just by himself. So I'm like, well, what the fuck? And I know old man Joe, but you know that well. So I went up, grabbed a glass of wine and 2 cigars, 2 Cubans, walked out. We sat down. I started talking to him. I handed him a cigar. I handed him a glass of wine. We started talking. And after that, he'd throw me a little work here and there, a little stuff here and there, just being nice, throw me some little stuff here and there for the company.
Hey,
And one
Michelle.
afternoon, he called me to come look at this house. He said, I need to get it remodeled. I said, sure, I'll go up and look at it. I get up here, the house had already been completely remodeled at the inside now. Now, it needed some dock work, so I fixed up everything outside, called him and said, he owed me about $2,000. He tells me, he goes, well, why don't you just use the house as a camp for 5 or 6 months for what I owe you? I said, sure, man, it's a nice house, 3-bedroom, 2-bath on the water, no problem. So then after that time passes up, I said, well, I'm coming to bring you keys. He said, no. He said, give me $500 a month, and you can use the house as your personal camp for as long as you want. I'm like, first off, the old lady like to flip. And I said, well, sure, we'll do that. And it was about a year. He calls me up and he goes, man, come to my office. I want to talk to you. I'm like, oh, what the hell? What's he got going on? He throws his pack of papers in front of me. He says, sign there, sign there, sign there, sign there. And he's got a $2,800 in cash sitting right here. I'm like, what the hell? So I reach over. He said, oh, by the way, that cash is for you. I'm like, wait. He said, sign. I said, what am I signing, buddy? He said, I'm giving you the house for $139,000. but take the 2-3 years you're in and off of that amount to made like 133,000. He said, he said, 30 years, 750 a month, it's yours. Now at the time the house was priced right a little right over $400,000. So I could have actually took the house right then and there and sold the son of a bitch and made 200 grand, 300 grand. But for some reason, I was like, I want to. I don't know. It was hard, and then we started spending weekend, and finally we just moved up here.
They want to keep
So there is so much shit that flies over this house. It would amaze you. That we've got video. Just the other day, Linda's freaking out because they got these helicopters that come. We had a neighbor finally build a house 2 acres over from us, but they got these big monster helicopters come through laid over on the side. All you hear is chop, 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 chop. The wind just started vibrating, shit started falling off the wall. I mean, you can literally see the guy's name tag on his shirt as he's going by. I mean, that's how close they are to our house. The other day, we had a C-130 came over. If he had his wheels down, he'd have took my freaking roof off. It's insane. Plus, then you start seeing these weird things at night in the afternoons, and it's just a lot of activity around here. And there's a lot of satellites. So far, I've tracked 11 different satellites that pass over my house. That's just weird.
Elon.
And there's at least 9 different flight paths that cross over here or right
Got
next
called
to us.
Elon.
And no, I got to wonder first on what made my brain choose to stay here, because the amount of activity is insane. It's insane. I mean, I've lived all over the planet. I've never had this kind of activity anywhere, and it's just weird. And my dogs will be just sitting there, and all of a sudden they just start yapping like okay, dogs, it's 2:00 in the morning. There's nobody around, nobody on the highways, nobody under the house, nobody anywhere. And then all of a sudden you'll see like the bayou light up green, and the water start doing this, and then it kind of just like fades and moves towards a bridge by my house and goes under, and then it's gone.
Well,
So if you
my dog does that too, but there aren't any weird things that happen afterwards. But I swear I'll be standing on the back porch with him while he's running around the backyard, and I can see over the fence. I mean, he can't, but I can, and there's no one there, not a human being for miles. There's houses and cars. People have their backyards are there and their cars are parked there, and he'll just start barking and running back and forth and chasing something along the fence. I'm like, dude, there's nobody there. Who are you barking at? And there's no phenomenon that comes. I wish there was. That would be awesome. But
I mean, I was talking to the vet about it. He said
something I can't tune in on, but it's weird.
Well, the vet was telling me that dogs can usually hear at least 2 miles further or 3 miles further than humans can, and so they're hearing things. They're reacting to things that we're probably not even going to hear. Period. It's if it's something going on. Like a couple of weeks ago, there was this weird thing going on the other side of the bridge. The other side of the bridge is about 2.5 miles from here, maybe even a little more than that. And they had all these weird things going on, making all these weird sounds. Well, my dogs are howling. I'll be getting on the porch, standing there howling. I said, what the hell's wrong with these things? I mean, it's quiet where I live. So I said, okay, well, so we're going to go run to the store, throw them in the car. Go to run to the store halfway across the bridge. They lose their mind. I'm like, what is going on? I was hurting their ears is what it was. As soon as I got to the end of the bridge, I seen what it was. I was like, what? I'm just amazed they could hear it that well. It was causing them irritation almost 3 miles away. I was like, but hey, it's a good thing because nothing gets around the house, buddy. They got a pack of cats that moved in the lot, the rough lot I keep.
It's also scary too. I mean, he doesn't do it that often, but every once in a while, and he's a big dog. He's a German Shepherd. He's like 100 pounds. He'll just bark out the window. I know he's hearing or seeing something on the ground. A block.
Hey, well, you might. I mean, they hear a lot. I mean, they have pretty good eyesight and they have really good hearing. So, and any dogs with erect ears. So, well, any dogs with erect ears hear better anyway. So, it's one of the reasons they crop Dobermans.
I wonder if dogs can see color.
Huh?
Can dogs see color? Or is it all black and white to them?
I think they're limited. I don't think it's completely black and white.
They can see color. I think it's cats that cannot because they have different irises.
Yeah, I think some deer. It's weird. Yeah, I think cats are black, but I'd have to look to it.
But my dog's kind of one dog. He's got one that stands up and one that's kind of like flopped over. So that's why we call him Clem, like Clem Cadiddlehopper. You know that character? He kind of
No.
has that guy's like duh. Like he's got that look on his face. That's why the dog is Clementine, Admiral Clementine.
Oh my goodness.
It's not a lie. That's a true story.
I believe you. I believe you.
Yeah, but he's a good puppy. We like him.
Hey Joe, how about drones? Are they all around down there? They're still flying all over the East Coast there.
There ain't no drones down here, but that's because we'll shoot the bitches out the air. That's why they don't have them down here.
From what
In
we were
New
talking
Jersey,
about
people
the
need
other
to go
night,
get their damn guns.
wasn't Virginia said that they've been having drone incidents for the past 2 years? Not just recently, but the past 2 years.
Oh, I hear we can't mention that name, drone. We can get in trouble.
Really?
Well, they can bite my left cheek.
Who's going to get us in trouble for saying a word? That's part of our Constitution, freedom of speech.
Well, it's not going to matter. What is today? The 11th or 12th. We got 8 days till Uncle Cracker's gone. Uncle Chunky's in office. And Chunky swears he's going to tell us in the first day or two what's actually going on. So, hey, we're going to find out, I guess. See, my problem with all this is okay, I've gotten a lot of image sent to me in the last 2 weeks. I mean, a bunch. And more than half, 2/3, 70% will say, turned out to be airplanes. Which kind of bothered me because at least 50% of those, you could easily tell were airplanes just by looking at them. I mean, just the outline and all was so. It's kind of like, all right. So then I start looking at the other ones, and I'm probably out of the 30% that are left, at least 25, 28% are some type of drone. But the problem is, there's like 2% that don't fit in any of those categories. It could be yaps.
Some of them are large enough to either be industrial or commercial sized, or even military grade, which means if they're our military, they're doing something they shouldn't be doing. If they're not our military, they're doing something they shouldn't be doing. If they're not military, they're still not doing something they should be doing. Whatever they're doing, all of them are doing it illegally.
Well, it's interesting you say that because a friend of mine,
regardless
Randy,
of who owns them, whether they're military or play toys or what, they've been doing their shenanigans in illegal ways.
Well, so I got a friend of mine who works for the government in New Jersey. Actually, he's got a pretty good job over there. He works for one of the representatives, and he was telling me the other day we were talking. He said, Joe. He said, we've been looking at these, and he said, once you get rid of the planes and you realize some of how many of these are drones and how many of these could be something odd, he said, if you start looking at the things that may be a yap and start looking at the behavior of the drones, it looks like the drones are following the yap. Like they're trying to catch up with it or keep an eye on it or check up on it. So if it is true that someone in our government or somebody in our industries are tagging unidentified flying objects, I don't know if they will tell us about it. I don't even know if they could tell us about it, to be honest with you. I mean, it depends on the level of classification.
Okay.
If it's classified too much, how are you going to tell us? How are you going to make it to the public? How are you going to give it to the citizens and everyday people?
Business, man. Don't mind those drones. It's none of your business.
What I don't understand is why no one's not shot one down. Man, look, I'd be out there with an odd 6 with a 260 grain head.
New Jersey. It's Jersey, man. Come on. Jersey.
Well, Krispy Kreme should get out there and throw some donuts at it.
There's nothing to speak about.
Well, I mean, really, he's always talking to him. Yeah, I'm big, man. Get out there, get some of them cream-filled donuts and throw at that damn thing. Splat its sensor so it crashes. I don't know, but I know.
Well, I mean, I'll be honest about you. If anything like that were to fly over my house, I have a shotgun, and if it's within my shotgun's range and it's over top of my property, I'm going to shoot it down. Especially if it's like looking into my house or looking through my window.
You see, they've told us about personal drones, people flying, like looking at your old lady in the backyard or something. They said you can shoot them down, and I told one of my neighbors. I told one of my neighbors, he kept trying to sneak in and look at one of the windows where these two girls live. And so I've seen you do it twice now. So next time I see it out here, it's going to disappear. And he's
I
like, no,
think
no,
that
no.
the market's wide open to create a predator drone. So
They already got a predator drone.
They have those
drones
They
that
have
hunt
those-
drones.
they
No, I
have
mean
those
like
since
on
late
the
80s.
consumer
They-
market, not military. Predator drones. So it's
They
flying.
got those now. You can get those now. If you want to go spend 80 grand, you can get one now.
No, I'm going like $50. Man. $50.
They're a little ways from
Take
that
mine
yet.
out of plastic or wood. I don't care. As long as I'm using.
Then they are made out of plastic. That's the sad, hard plastic.
I used
They
to
are
be
really
into
made out of
rocketry,
plastic.
man. I loved it. It was cool.
They were trying to make them drones out of fiberglass for a while.
Do
Had
they
made fiberglass
qualify as
strong.
UFOs or UAPs? What are they? Which one are they? Or are they
Rocket.
neither?
They're both.
I
It's
know
the
that
same thing.
the Ithaca airport made us stop because it was in the flight plan.
Well, I think whatever it is,
we
it's
kept finding
not
rockets that went higher and higher. I was getting carried away.
illusionary
I'm
phenomenon,
obsessive
though. It's
compulsive,
an actual
man.
physical
Don't blame
thing.
me. I wanted to see some stuff go up.
Well, but I mean, think about it though. I mean, if no one else, I mean, I don't know why I think I'm the only one that's concerned. But what if you have these unknown objects? Even though we know they're drones, I mean, we don't know who's operating them, and they're doing things in such a way that it causes alarm. And we're still talking about how many weeks ago did this start? 3-4 weeks ago, and Virginia said they've haven't been having this for 2 or 3 years now.
You got to go.
It seems like it's a concern. Why why don't we stop it? Why aren't these things being
because
shut down?
it was the government. It was
Huh?
it was the government. It wasn't some other source. I was told that there was an asset that went missing, and they were looking for it, and then they found it, and that's what it was. And they were searching for it. But let's say you have some foreign entity that's flying drones in from the ocean. Boom, and then they're trying to go over whatever area. It's so easy to follow the radio path back to the controller because
Yeah, but only while it's
line of
active.
sight, unless they're using cell or if they're using satellite, all that's easily traceable. So it's not what people think it is. It's not aliens and it's not the Russians. It's not Iran. It's us. Your friendly neighborhood American. Hello. We're looking for some stuff we lost, and you don't know want to know what it is. You'll sleep better at night. Don't worry about no drones. They need Fat Tony on there. Hey, don't worry about no drones. Go eat your pasta and mind your
I know what you
business.
just said, Mike, but also taking our attention from something else. What are they trying to distract us from?
The Golden Globe Awards that were going on. I'm saying.
When did this come out?
Ooh.
Here's what they're trying to distract us from, maybe.
Why? It's Mars. So what? What's important about Mars?
Because we probably came from Mars. That's why.
Where the water from where the water on this planet is from. Actually, the
Well,
water.
you know what? You know my theory on Mars.
You from Mars though. That's the problem. That's where we originally came from. Then you don't exist. Mars don't exist. You don't exist. You better reevaluate this. This is where our original DNA came.
Probably more like this is what happened. The fifth planet, or what some people call Tiamat, exploded. And before it exploded, we moved over to Mars. And when Tiamat exploded, the water on Tiamat landed on Mars. And then something happened, and Mars exploded.
I would think Mars had a culture already. I would bet you that culture had already been on Earth. More than likely, when the two planets got destroyed, whoever was here is the one.
Don't worry about Mars.
Because you can tell, that there wasn't a move. And the way you know that it wasn't a move, because they didn't bring anything with them.
The monkeys asked.
Whatever they had here is what they ended up with. That's why there was so much limited technology.
To the inner atmosphere or the inner planet.
Asking questions.
That inner thing is Venus.
Need direction.
Don't
worry about the Mars. You already got Elon. Go talk to Elon. He's got rockets and he's got aspirations.
And Elon's going to Mars because Elon knows.
Yeah.
Elon knows what's going on. He knows you stupid humans are about to die. He's going to Mars. He said He said,
Look
even
at
if
that,
it's the
look at
second
that
coming,
great CGI right there. Look, that's all CGI. That ain't
that is
right.
all CGI.
Look at that crap.
Like Mars stuff. That ain't
There's
even
gonna
close.
be an Indian.
You know
takeout.
what? They're filming that over at the Sahara
There'll be
Desert.
Indian takeout
That's
there.
the
Yeah.
Sahara
And
Desert.
No, they're not filming anything here. This is computer generated. That's what this
Me
is.
and Marriott.
It's
Indian
computer
takeout.
generated mixed with rover
No place
shots.
is
Is what it
complete
is.
without a McDonald's.
So what they did is they took regular computer generation and then they added in rover shots because they keep finding weird stuff that's not supposed to be on Mars. Every time they turn around, they find something.
Like a washer.
Now they're finding.
Well,
Now they're
I
pretty
mean,
sure they
washer
found
and
life.
dryer
So.
together. Yeah, it's
Initial
great.
It's a
findings
big
from the
deal if they
70s
find life on Mars,
Cydonia
especially
show
if
a
it's
face on Mars. That's kind of weird.
yeah. If they find life on Mars and it's the same kind of life you have on Earth, then it's a kindred planet.
We're in the same realm. We are them. They are us. We are all together.
So
Well, I
if
mean-
they're just like us, why can't we just go up there and walk around without suits on? Why?
Because something ripped the atmosphere of the planet and
Yeah,
cracked a big ass hole in the middle of the damn thing.
Your atmosphere is done. Toast right now.
Something messed it up. I mean, when you look at Olympus Mons, whatever hit that thing to make that volcano that big was insane.
They had a
I
major.
mean, you can see where it hit it on the other side of the planet.
The
And that's
CIA
another
was-
crazy thing. You got a big crater on this side, a big volcano on this side. It's the largest volcano in the solar system on one of the smaller planets, no less.
CIA
It didn't have
reports
much
that
in the
they
way.
had a major-
And every time it would erupt, it would send shit pummeling on our planet because it was outside the atmosphere. So it would just come floating in space to Earth.
Well, that's not the only thing. There's also 3 or 4 like shotgun blasts of the asteroid belt that fly into the inner atmosphere, and some of those shotgun blasts go across Mars first before they hit us. So that's also knocking pieces off of Mars and still sending it onto Earth. So we found fossils from Mars, all kinds of Mars rocks, and like it's particularly in I guess the Antarctic area in the ice and the snow.
Yeah, well, most scientists today think that on the poles they're going to find life because in the summer when the poles recede, after about a month you start to see what looks like some big black plume just spreading out. More than likely it's an algae or a fungus or something, some type of plant or something growing. And then when the snow comes back, it goes back away and the ice comes back. I mean, there's actually seasons on Mars, so it's.
How many of you here
Definitely life on Mars. I don't think the
Go.
problem's ever going to be that there's
Who
life.
here would go if you had a chance to go?
Yeah, I'd go tomorrow.
Why?
One, the skies there got to be so much more beautiful than the skies here. It's the skies there would be like what our
There's no
ancestors
people farts
saw 2 million
on
years
Mars
ago.
yet, really. There's no methane.
Yeah, and there's no light pollution.
Yeah,
And
that's
it's
what I'm saying.
farther away from the sun, so there's less interaction. And the moons it has are about the size of our balls. So what does it matter? It's a different world. It puts us closer to getting out of the solar system. We're not explorers until we leave the solar system. And go
So is
somewhere.
that what the liberals are going to
Yeah,
say
sure.
now? I'm going to Mars.
Well, you know what? That's Jay's territory there. To go
What, Mars?
beyond our
Guys,
solar
think
system.
about the jobs it's going to create. How much money you're going to get paid to go live on Mars?
And you know what we're not talking about is the fire still in California, man. I mean, it's still, it didn't go away. I mean, it's gone.
Yeah, I was talking with John about him at the start of the show. So he was telling me the whatchamacallit fires, I keep wanting to call it the Palladian fires. I got to get that out of my head. They're about
Palisades
11. Yeah, Palisades are about 11% contained, and the other one was about 15% contained.
One
He
of
said,
them
but the
that-
winds are down right now, so they're getting under control
It's
fast.
tomorrow.
But they're said they will be
Well,
going
tomorrow.
up. So they're all just hoping because they're right now from where he's at on Hollywood Boulevard. They're exactly a half a mile away
Oh my God, what's he still
Yeah.
doing there, dude?
because he can't go nowhere. They have those big buildings down there they got to take care of.
Oh,
They're out there spraying, hosing down shit.
I can't
they're
believe
doing.
the carnage, man. And just houses, businesses, everything just gone. Like just burned to the ground. I mean, never seen anything like that in my life. You know,
I'll
Was,
tell
was
you
it like
what.
9,000 structures have been destroyed so far?
people, animals.
Yeah, I think they upped it since then.
You know what it reminds me of is Sodom and Gomorrah.
I said that, and people were like, "Yeah, this is ugly
No,
more."
no, Mike, I'm serious, man. When I mean
Well,
it,
it's
I
Hollywood,
believe.
man. It's Hollywood. It's
Yeah.
just Hollywood. It's very weird. I'll tell you, the whole thing is very weird. But I just, right now, I just, it's a hole in my heart because I'm feeling that energy. Just like it's horrible. It's horrible, man. It's just
Yeah, I
massive,
mean,
massive suffering.
I feel like it reminds me of Hawaii too. I mean, Trump coming in, all of Hollywood goes up almost. Come on, they're hiding something. This
It's
is
very weird.
not.
I'll tell you
This
something.
is not man. This is man
if,
made. This
if you
ain't.
stand back and look at it, there's some really weird coincidences happening. But either way, no matter, I mean, it is an area prone to fire. It is. They are the Santa Ana winds. They are blowing. I mean, as far as how fires start or whatever, you don't need much. Especially when it's hot and dry.
Then he
You don't
got the
need much.
mayor closing off
And then you
the
know what?
water.
They should have never built in those canyons. There's a whole bunch of shit that never happened. Blah 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 blah. The politics are horrible. The people are unrealistic. They're just they're I don't know. Their minds are they got shit for brains. They have shit for brains. Let's just say I don't know where they get their brains from, but it's not in any kind of realistic sort of way to cut budgets. She cut 17. This is the mayor, right, of LA, cut $17.9 million from the firefighting budget this year, 2025, which is only what is it today? The 11th. So that was like last week. That was the first thing that she did was like boom, cut all this money and start shifting it over to use for other projects, homeless. They said illegal aliens, whatever, man. And then over 30 million last year. So here you are, a year and 10 days, you got over 40 million bucks cut from the fire budget. And then what is that? How many trucks is that? How many firefighters? How much apparatus? You hear those things, those guys begging for those fire trucks, begging, man, and that just lets you know that if the shit hits the fan, you're not calling 911 because no one's going to be there. It's going to be a recording, and you got to rely on yourself. I'm calling Joe Montaldo, me personally. Me personally,
I'm going to blow
I'm
something
going to
up.
come down. We're going to gorge ourselves on shrimp. You know what I mean?
The end of the world,
In
baby.
the apocalypse and be broadcasting in the apocalypse. You remember that movie where Woody Harrelson has got the radio pack on his back and he's like up on top of a mountain,
Yeah.
like broadcasting it, and the whole thing's like blowing up. I'm like, you know what? I understand. I understand that. That's gonna like be me. I'm reporting up here down this hill. Boom. You know what I mean? How are we gonna survive this, man? I mean, we're gonna survive this because we don't live there,
But there are still some people that, I mean, just on the election results. I can't wait to see some of these videos. But there were people who were talking on Jeff's show Friday night. One guy he predicted a few things that actually happened, and we talked about Eric Grimsrud with Trump. But there are still people that are legitimately afraid that the end of the world is coming, that Trump's going to take over the planet, and I'd really like to know where the people are coming up with these kind of scenarios. Why?
Nothing's ever written anywhere.
We're in the middle of a decade anyway. We're not it's not like 28 or 29. It's like it's like 30. With the planet's going to explode. But it's
the world might recycle itself at some point, but it's not going to end. Not. You know what? And humans are like an infectious disease. You know how hard it is? It's like having herpes.
Are hard to kill.
You know how hard you can't get rid of humans. Once a planet has humans, it's fucked. You know what I mean? That's it. Because we just breed and destroy everything in our path. And then maybe one out of 1,000 is like, hey, love everything, peace and love. The rest of them are like, fuck you, get out of my way, give me what you got, and then just kick you right in the balls and take your gold teeth. That's a lot of people, man, and it's not supposed to be like that. We want the kinder, the gentler. But the world is self-serving, isn't it? And then liberal rule, any place that they rule crumbles because of these things. Because whoever cuts funding to the fire department, oh my God, come on!
No, it's ridiculous, dude. Ridiculous.
Especially with the population.
And firemen.
You need more fire trucks, more ambulances, more fire departments. More companies. you're popping up, right?
And they need to get out there and sell some fucking brownies and get some money, man. That's all I can fucking firemen, lazy bastards, sit around on their ass 90%
You
of
know,
the time.
you have here's this one. Like in Ithaca, I was gonna have a fundraiser for the fire department. I was friendly with the chief, and he said that they could use a new fire truck, and I'm like, hey, we could have like a carnival and raise money or whatever. Do you know it was illegal? We weren't allowed to do it. It was against the city's charter that we weren't allowed to have a carnival. We weren't allowed to have fundraisers. They weren't even allowed to get one donated because I had maybe arranged for something through Cornell, and I floated it past them, trying to blackmail them, with my show into supplying a fire truck, and then they weren't even allowed to do that. How crazy is that? So I mean, it's up to the politicians. They're the ones who have to get more funding. If I can get another extra buck for that fire department, I'm going to do it. But to cut millions, tens of millions from them, wow, that's
Well,
you saw how that nigga got. She got so defensive.
A fire risk area too. I mean, that's their main risk, isn't it?
In that dry canyon, you're not getting water up in there, And then don't even get me started on Nestle's and how Nestle's pumps out billions of gallons of water and sells it around the world in their bottled water, and they don't even filter it. It's just the tap water, right? And then they don't pay anything for it. There's a lot of stories out there about that. And then they want to know where the water's going. They have a water shortage and they have water problems. Well, then you have these companies that
they have a water problem. The water system just wasn't designed for fighting a large area of effect forest fires.
Nah, if it's hot and dry, especially
localized building, like, oh my god, this building's on fire. Okay, get that hydrant, boom.
I've never seen such devastation, man. They said like a war. No, I've never even seen a war. War, you drop bombs and whatever. Bombs don't even do that unless they burn everything down. This is incinerated, man. Like incinerated. Never seen anything like it in my life.
Man, that was nothing.
Look at the live videos of it. You'll be mystified.
It's surreal. It's like the apocalypse.
I've seen worse. I hate to tell
the whole Malibu coast is burnt. Did you see like the whole coast they had? It's just all those houses are gone.
Yeah, and that's another thing. How can you burn the houses next to the water? Well, all you got to do is drop a pump in it and pump water. I don't even understand that. That is one of the most ignorant things. See, none of this is about the amount of water that was. It was about the amount of experience.
Boats that can do that for the LA Harbor. They have boats that can sunk water.
You don't need a boat. You just throw a damn pump out there. You don't even need a damn boat. Any 6-inch, 2-inch, 4-inch pump would do this no problem.
You know that,
and you can put multiple hoses on.
You know that guy Castro, the billionaire Powerball winner. That guy, the one who was accused of stealing the ticket. And then cashed it in. His house burned down. Like $3.9 million house. But I mean, there are people out there saying like they don't care because it's Hollywood and they deserve it. And whatever.
Well, a lot of they do deserve.
You know what? We've gotten away from humanity, and then now we're stuck into this anger, revenge type of mentality because people have sat there hopeless and been beaten on for so long. But it was those Hollywood people that supported the politics that led to their ultimate demise of their homes. But there's also a lot of great people who lost their homes and animals.
Well,
I mean,
all I know is they need to put somebody in charge who knows what they're doing. Think about it, Jay. They could have went to any pumping company down here, took 20 or 30 of those pumps, dropped one every quarter mile out into the ocean, and just turned them on and let them pump with a 6-inch pump. You know how much water they're pumping per minute. They could be putting the fires out now. I don't understand. And salt water is even better for putting out fires. I don't understand.
Their fire department, the LA Fire Department, actually has boats that do that. Why aren't they Are they deploying those? Where are they being used?
Well, you know what?
You know what? I'd say screw the fire department, screw the people. I go get the damn pump myself. Mm-hmm. I could at least save 4 or 5 houses right there easily. I mean, them things pump some serious amounts of water, and I mean, you'll empty a 1-acre pond in all of about 15 minutes. With an unlimited supply of ocean water.
They even have electric fire trucks, man.
Yeah, they do. They got them in California, matter of fact. I'm sure they got them in LA.
Are you serious? Oh my God.
Have to recharge it.
Oh. What's wrong with California, guys? What is wrong with them people out there in California?
Right now. They should leave all that shoreline.
Side going one way, the other side going the other
man.
way. Y'all get there to try, see if y'all can
They
do
should
that.
leave it.
They're
Yeah.
like the people that wear flip flops in wintertime. They walk through, 2 and 3 inches of snow in flip flops, and the next day they wonder, why did I get a cold? Well, that's why, because you walked out and you did that. That's exactly what is happening in California. They took money, good money from the fire department from like a high risk area, and took money from the fire department in a high risk fire area, and now they're suffering the consequence from it, and they don't know what to do and say about it. I mean, this could have. Everyone has been saying this could have been prevented. Without
when
question.
I saw
on the other show.
When I saw Hollywood stars putting up GoFundMe pages, that was it for me. that was fucking it for me, buddy. I don't care.
The whole criticizing that,
Facebook.
man. There are people very angry over that. Like, these rich people are like,
you're a multi-million-dollar person, and you go. Plus, I think something needs to be done with these insurance companies.
Oh, 3 months before that.
So I'm going to tell you what they do down here, okay? Just California. Listen, let the South teach you a lesson, you dumb fucking people. So down here, if an insurance company says they won't insure property, like on a coast where I live, you know what the state tells them? Get the fuck out.
What?
You can't sell insurance to our cars, boats, or anything else if you don't sell homeowners. Mm-hmm. And since and what they did is Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, and Florida decided to get together, which is roughly about 70 million people, and said, look, you either insure everything or you leave, and we'll just do it ourselves. Well, nobody wants to give up 70 million customers. That's just not going to happen. So they had to bite and grin. Even Geico and who was the other company? Geico and somebody else refused to do it down here. So I remember the governor said, get out. He said, you can't just take all the people. He said, get out. You're fine. Get out of our state. You're breaking the law in our state. You have to cover homes. If you can't, get out. And they bitched at home and tried to drag him in court and everything. And in the end, guess what? They supply homeowners. And wind and hail. Because, look, you can't pick and choose. And that's not fair to everybody. So if that's the case, just go to the heartland and just don't spend any money and just insure a few people in your cars. No, we're not going to let you make millions of dollars off of us, off of cars and boats and theft. Because you don't want to cover it. So I remember at State Farm, I do a lot of arbitration because I own a construction company. I do a lot of arbitration. And arbitrators hate me. They hate me with a passion. The judges like me because I always come in well prepared, but everybody else, insurance companies, look. My name is a dirty word in insurance companies. I guarantee you somebody's offices, there's dartboards out there with my face on it. My first time to arbitration was the storm before Katrina. I went 100 times. I won 100 times. Katrina, I went 370 times to arbitration. Won every time. Every time. And I'd walk in. I'd rip these insurance companies. I said, first off, all I wanted to do this shit. Well, we use this this program that decides what the price is. I said, no, well, screw your program. And I would take out a bunch of pictures from Lowe's and Home Depot. Hey, see what's up. Of all the prices of what they actually cost. So we had the price of the sheetrock, the price of the plywood, the price of the screws, the whole 9 yards. We had like 150 items on each one. And I would lay it down in front of the judge in a nice, pretty book where he could see it all, or her. And then I would take what the prices were the insurance company was offering, and I'd put them on the side. And then I'd put the percentage differences between them. The first judge who seen it looked at it and he said, and he had to catch himself because he was about to say, you fucking kidding. And he went through it and he looked. He said, nope. And he looked at my bottom line. He looked over at the insurance company. He said, you see this number right here? This is what you're going to pay them. You have 22 days to have it paid to them. I will hold you in contempt of court. And then after about my 30th case with this particular judge, it was so funny. It was, who was it? It was a Farm Bureau came in. I was doing 3 cases with him. And the judge looked up at the guy from Farm Bureau. He said, I'm going to just tell you this one time. He said, please tell me you have your ducks in a row. He said, because I know this gentleman right here does. He said, and I know he was nice enough to send you over some of the information he was going to use today, which I don't understand why he did that because I wanted to scare him. And they were literally nervous when I got there. And the judge said, and so far he hasn't lost any cases. He said, because he has his stuff together. And as you see, he's just waiting for you to come up here to see what kind of load of bullshit you're going to tell me. Exactly what the judge said. The guy starts opening his mouth. He said, well, I didn't appreciate it. He said, I know you didn't. He said, but go ahead and tell me. So the guy starts yap, 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 yap. And he said, you see, you've said absolutely nothing in 20 minutes. You're wasting my time. All these other people have to go to court in here, and you have said absolutely nothing. You sat here and just bullshit. And he's like, but no. He said, no. He said, I want to see the bottom line. Give me the things. Where do you come up with these numbers? So the guy comes up there and brings him the little chart, hands it to the judge. I'll smile like, I got it. And the judge looks at it and says, can you come up to my desk? Come up to the bench. The guy comes up to the bench. He said, this is your price list, right? He said, where did you get this list from? Oh, our algorithm generates this, and this is the current prices, and blah, blah, blah. He said, okay. So by this time, I've given him two lists, one from Home Depot, one from Lowe's. He comes up, he holds up this list with all the prices, and he puts them next. He said, do those look close to you? And he has his finger over the name of the company. He said, well, no, not really. He said, those seem kind of high. And then he lifts his finger off. He said, well, that's Lowe's prices. He said, this is Home Depot prices. He said, you're not even within half, 50% of those prices. And then he said, you see the bottom line down here? And then that's when he said, Mr. Joe, did you have your bottom line page? I said, yes, sir. I walked up and handed it to him. And he takes a big red marker, marks around it. He said, you see this number right here? He said, this is what you're going to pay to this family. Write the check today before you leave. Thank you very much. And every time they tried to get a whatever you call it, to do it again, an appeal, they got a no. They said the guy is. I wasn't going to court on appeal. I know how these judges are, man. They're assholes. I was not walking in front of a judge and not having my ducks in a row because I knew you were going to lose. And if you lose 2 or 3 times, after that, he's just going to look at you and say, well, you haven't learned anything. You lost. And I was motivated because I got 5% over whatever I got them over their original estimate, which in some cases was a substantial amount of money. It's you can't put up with I know y'all have heard this saying before: the squeaky wheel gets oiled. That's why companies hate me. Oh yes, I've gone to bat for some of my hosts, friends of mine. I'll call up and say, "Hi, I'm Joe Metallo. I'm with United Public Radio. I have a few questions for you." Talking about this guy. Oh, we can't talk about him without his permission. I said, well, hold on. I said, James, tell him, yeah, I have your permission. He said, he does the whole routine. He said, now you can talk to him. And the guy goes, well, this seems a little unethical. No. And I'll go through it. And I said, well, I want to introduce myself properly, and I'll do the whole spiel about the station, who I am. And I said, now, I'm going to make a commercial out of this. I said, because I live in a one-state record law, and I'm going to make sure everybody and the 3 or 5 million people who listen to this show hear what you had to say today. And then I'm going to send a copy of that along with the reactions from our audience to your boss. Click. They hated me, man. I've gotten more people at some of these companies fired. And sometimes I feel bad, but mostly not so much. They're assholes. They deserve it. Well, it's a lot easier to get things done when you have a radio station with 35 live hosts. Live shows. Sorry about that. That's my brain's fried. With 35 live shows. I know that was a bad one. But anyway, we have 35 live shows, and usually we're broadcasting right around, with everybody and everything that we do, right around 30 million people a week, give or take. Worldwide, it's a lot of people. And do you really want to risk? T-Mobile made that mistake with me. And after just 3 months, I had lawyers calling me, cease and desist, letters coming to me, certified letters coming to me. And then I just ignore all of it. And they tried everything they could, but I was within my rights. I didn't modify the tape. I put it up, the whole entire conversation, my end and his end. And people were just calling T-Mobile and ripping them new asses. And eventually, it was about 4 months, maybe 5, and T-Mobile called me and said, okay, we took that off your bill, because they were trying to charge me $500 for a phone that they had received. What that was about. So I said, okay. And I said, well, that's nothing. I'm not going to stop this. I said, because of that, you're stupid. You made my life miserable. So they well, what do you want? He said, well, I'll tell you what, I'll give you 4 free pads, 4 free phones, 4 free years of service. Would that make up for the inconvenience? I said, yes. And he sent me the contract, signed it, sent everything over, and that was the end of that. And did it to T-Mobile, did it to AT&T, did it to a couple of insurance companies, did it to a couple of people. You can't let people get away with some stuff. The only one I'm having a hard time with right now is Skype, because they were taking $29 out of my account for some reason. I didn't stop. There's no way to get in touch with me. I don't have you have to do all this special stuff to get in touch with them. So the other day I called Microsoft. I said, "Hey, Microsoft, you on Skype?" Oh yeah, we're proud. I said, "Well, I'll tell you what, I'm fixing to sue the shit out of you." I said, "You have no special services over there." I said, "I can't type. My hands are messed up. All I can do is use voice, and you have no way to speak to anyone about money you are stealing from me." I said, "I'm fixing to bring this to Action Reported News and bring it over to the radio station I work for, and we'll see what the fuck happens to you." And then all of a sudden, lo and behold, somebody calls me on Skype, calls me up and says, "Oh, we're investigating that $29. Once we know what that is, we will get it rectified. And we will see what's going on. And if you haven't been using your Skype, we'll get it returned to you." I said, "Okay."
Dang.
You
But they're
gotta
not the
fight
only
for
ones I've
every
used
little
that.
thing
I used that on
in the
YouTube
world.
one time.
You know, but all your stories, man, just lead back to one thing: injustice. And
right.
they come after us. And you know, Joe, most people aren't like you. They're not fighters. You're a fighter. You know, you're a warrior, man, a warrior beast.
I don't like
You
to
are.
lose.
So when people
That's how it is. I
you're
just don't
happy
fucking
to
like to lose.
because you're happy to rub their face and shit. I get it. I'm the same ilk. I understand. You know what I mean? But when it comes to regular old people, they won't do it, and those companies use and abuse them. And there's no
Oh, yeah,
consumer
they do.
protection company looking after them, saying, "Hey, this is wrong. We're going to put a stop to it." And communication companies are some of the biggest. You know, they're overbilling, billing people needlessly, stuff like that. It's staggering the numbers. And who's going after them? Nobody. No, but you got to fight tooth and nail to get you $29 back.
You know, but it just shows you how it is because I'm over at one of my customers' houses. This is about a year ago. And he heard me talking to somebody a couple of weeks earlier. I was tearing somebody up about something. And he goes, "I'm having this problem with this company, and they're charging me this. It's like $35,000 every 4 months." I'm like, "Well, boss, just stop it." He said, "I did," but he said, "I can't find out what it was for." And he went on and on and on and on. And I said, "Okay, well, give me the number. I'll call him." He said, "Well," I said, "No, let me call him." I said, "I'm going to tell him I'm you." I called him up, talked to him. I said, "Excuse me, sir." I said, "I see these charges, and I can't find out what they're for, and they're coming out of my account." And I said, there's no receipt for them, there's nothing. I said, in the state I live in, that's considered theft. And it's $35,000. You're going to go to jail for a fucking long time. And I said, when I went back, I said, there's like 5 of these payments. I said, dude, that's a lot. That's $175,000. I said, they're going to put you under the jail. You and whoever else that's involved here. I'm just a bill guy. And I said, "Oh, well, somebody better tell me what's going on." And the guy's going on. And then they give me some other line of bullshit. I said, "Well, you know what? I said, I see we have other business contracts with you, 2 other ones or 3 other ones." I said, "I'm going to have those pulled today. And then I'm going to get on the phone with the local sheriff's office and have your fucking ass arrested. Do you know they had that money back in his account that day and gave him the other 2 accounts for the next year for free?
Wow.
Cost themselves almost $700,000. And
Wow.
he's like, "There's no fucking way, Joe. I would have never done that. I'd have just said, okay, give me half the money back and I'll be happy." I said, "How are you so fucking rich?" And that's what I just looked at him and said, "Dude, you got fucking 10 times the money I do. I just make a lot of money. That's all." I said, "From now on, I want a percentage. I'm going to come take care of your little issues." I was like, Jesus. He did get me like $15,000. He just handed me an envelope one day when I was by his house working on something. He said, "Oh, this is for taking care of
with
me."
a lawyer until like go to McDonald's and have lunch and slip on the wet floor. But whoa! I just happened to be having lunch with my attorney.
I don't know. It gets crazy. Jesse
That's all.
Jesse
Your license
Grant.
says "I sue."
Hey, Mr. Grant, where are you located? New York, New York, New
Everyone
York.
King of the Hill.
Okay, people, when you're in New York City, tell me where you are in New York City. I know there's boroughs there. I got enough friends in fucking New York that I know that. So Mr. Grant, what part of New York are you in? You said you were in New York, New York. That's New York City. So
yeah, it's New York City.
wait, I don't consider Staten Island part of New York City. I'm sorry. It's a fucking
man,
island.
don't get the ghost of Stephanie. The ghost of Stephanie will be rising.
I didn't think about that. Stephanie, no disrespect, baby. If you listen, no disrespect.
Island stay.
Oh man, I didn't even think about that. Anyway, I apologize. What was your comment, your question, whatever? Oh, you mean Donald Trump? We're gonna wait and see. That's all we can do is let's see what happens. Well, I keep hearing Biden's going to do this, Biden's going to do that, Biden's going to suck your dick, Biden's going to do this. I mean, the problem is he's got 5 days. I know y'all think he's got 8 days, but really and truly, he's got 2 weekends. And nobody works on the staff in the White House on the weekend, so he's got 5 days. Hey, he's not my fault. He got from Monday to Friday, and really, he's no longer president of the
I
United
wouldn't
States.
trust anything from anything. Nothing.
Well, I posted a comment today about that. So I personally said any outgoing administration that feels the need to go out of their way to hurt the American public and the incoming president should go to jail. That's what I said.
Yeah.
And it's already over 100 likes, so it's moving up the list fast. But it's because they should. Joe Biden's doing things to deliberately fuck over Trump's agendas.
Oh yeah.
And then what is it? Sodomore. I'm sorry.
And it's not him. It's
My brain is just gone today.
It's the masters who control him. So it's not.
What's his name? The head of the Homeland Security, Sodom. That's I keep wanting to see. I'm wanting to call him Sodom Gomorrah now. What is his name? What?
Cash.
No, the guy that's there right now, Biden's guy.
His name is Marilyn Chambers.
Hey Siri, who's in charge of Homeland Security?
I like old school.
Who's in charge of Homeland Security?
You guys depend on Siri, making me weird, making me feel weird. Man.
Yeah, Alejandro Mayorkas. That's it. Siri, stop.
Alejandro.
Yeah, I fired Alexa, that bitch.
He's a little.
Bitch.
He's a little like imp. He's like a little imp. He's small and he's got them beady looking eyes.
Yeah, I hear he smells bad too. They were talking. One of his aides was overheard saying that he only takes a bath once a week.
He's got the squint of revenge, man. The squint of revenge.
Hey, people, I might take a bath on a week if all I'm doing is sitting on my ass. I mean, what does he do? Scratch his balls? I mean, the man don't even do anything.
Does he take showers opposite or just one bath a week? What's he do?
Yeah, well, he told somebody that's all he does. He on Fridays he takes his Friday shower and then he goes out.
He's like one of those hippies.
Yeah. I'm sure you don't really get much dirty. The man wears a suit and sits in the office all day, so probably got filtered air coming into his office.
Some stank going on.
Oh wait, that ain't as bad as the girl who wanted to come on the network who doesn't wipe her ass.
Oh,
that's stank.
I was like,
did she live in Staten
but I
Island?
got the letter. No man, but then I got this letter and I'm like,
she in Staten Island, Joe?
I don't know, but I got the letter and I read it and I'm like, no, I read that wrong. I said somebody's fucking me, somebody's pranking me. So I mean, come on, it had to be a prank, right? So I didn't think about it, deleted it, and about a week passes, I get another letter from her saying, "Hey, when can I come on? I want to talk about this, this, and this." And then I didn't answer, and then I get another letter. She says, "Well, you can't smell my ass because I'm on the microphone." And she said, "I still look good." I was like, because she wanted to talk about why people look away from her when they're standing next to her. I think if you don't wipe your ass, that's why they're looking away from you, bitch. Jesus, that's just disgusting. How can you? How can you walk around? I don't. No, I'm serious, people. It's real. No, I actually seen her talking on TikTok about it just recently. Yeah, she wears it like a badge. She said that the problem now is, in the old days, we weren't as clean, so all of our pheromones and hormones were always out there, so the attractions were stronger, and there was less guesswork. I said, I don't know any ape that's fucking any bitch smelling like shit. So I don't know. Even today, I don't think the monkey's going for that. I'm just telling y'all, people, I don't think so. Oh, that's just disgusting.
That is disgusting. Oh my god.
Any guy who needs to get laid by that needs to just be slapped.
What's going on there, man? Hanging out.
Like Michelle's idea, you get in a fight with some soap and water. Let's get the hose out, baby. Let's play slippery slide.
Well, you know what? There's some dudes out there that are just sick in the head that would probably love it. You know that.
Yes, I know there are. That's what's scary.
Yes. Oh my goodness.
What's that? You want what? Your underarms licked? Wait, whoa!
Come
okay,
on.
Michael said he'll go for that.
Oh God!
Michael said he's into that Oriental stuff.
Oh, come on, man!
Y'all are just gagging me out today. Anyway, let's move on to something else. No, that's disgusting. We're not talking about that. Michelle, you got a good topic because these people are getting weird tonight.
Sucking on toes. Suck on toes.
And then everyone's sucking on some toesies, man. Jeremy Rhines. Jeremy, where? Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot Jeremy was the one above you, Mr. Rhines. Just calm down. But his name is Bruce Rhines, by the way. Bruce, where are you calling from? Niagara Falls, Canada. So you better behave because my manager's up there and she will come kick your ass.
Yeah,
She's right around the corner, buddy.
You know what, dude? Ask him if he is looking forward to becoming a United States citizen. Ask him.
Did you hear the question there, Ryan? Did you? Are you going to be? You better retract that "fuck the USA" shit. I'll come there, fly up there, and kick your ass.
Well,
what is it? Yeah, no, I know. No, a lot of my Canadian friends said fine. They would join the U.S.
Yeah,
it can't be any worse than pink shorts.
Every Canadian I talk to would love to be a United States citizen.
I mean, after Mr. Pink Shorts, I mean, come on, you can only go up from there. Trudeau, that's who we call Mr. Pink Shorts. It's all because on one of the cancer months, a couple of years back, he dressed out in these really tight, hot pink pants and t-shirt. So now he's been Mr. Pink Shorts. I've seen it one time and that was it. He's Mr. Pink Shorts. He's a world leader, so we seen him dressed like that, and then we seen him naked, wrapped in the Canadian flag. See, in this country, that would be you'd go to jail for that if you were a president. Yes, they'd put you in jail for that. I don't know what the cause or would be, but they'd put your ass in jail for that. Yeah, no body parts touching the flag. You better go buy your own Chinese flag for that.
So, what do you think about buying Trump going after Greenland?
I think like that video you sent me is what I think.
That was funny, wasn't it?
That's what I think. I think the Dutch now have gotten serious and want to keep it. I think. Maybe.
But how do we think he's going to get it? Is he going to use military action?
He's going to buy it.
It'd
be cheaper to buy it.
Yeah.
But
besides, do we want to have to beat France and Germany up too? I mean, Germany and France said they would come defend Greenland.
Already beaten up Germany twice, so I mean, third time.
I think Greenland would surrender the first. We surrender, America. We want to be. Hey, hello. Well, they surrendered, so too bad. There's nothing to fight about.
There was a guy they were interviewing. I forget who it was. Like their Trudeau, and he's really looking forward to talking to Donald Trump about doing something.
Because if they take a popular vote with the 50,000 people, which probably 20,000 can vote, from what I heard, it's going to be an overwhelming yes. So then the Dutch have to make up their mind: do they want to go over there and use physical force to keep the island, not from us, but from their own people who want to succeed, or will they just cut a deal with the United States to let us take the island and be done with it? Which immediately the first thing we're going to do is pile up long-range, or actually mid-range nuclear weapons. Yeah, that's the first thing we're going to do. Probably put about 500 on it.
A lot of them Greenlanders, they do not want to be Danes. They don't want to be Danes.
Because it sounds gay. Oh, I'm a Dane. Hi. Nice to meet you, John. I'm Dane. Nice to meet you. Jay, nice to meet you. I'm a Dane. So let's be honest. When you walk into somebody and says, I'm a Dane, people are going to look at you and say, wait. When you walk up to people and say, hey, you know what? I'm from the USA. They look at you like, I don't want to offend you, dude. You look like you might hurt me. You're assholes. We heard all Americans are assholes. What was that movie with, one of the Rush Hour movies when they went to France? That shit was hilarious. The guy driving them around, his idea of what Americans were. Start off with people in the world. Not all Americans carry guns. Only about 100 million of us probably, give or take, one or two carry guns. All the rest of us don't, though. No, none of the four of us carry guns. What are you talking about? We would never do anything like that. Never. No. Who's Martha? That's my girlfriend. What are you talking about? Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about. No, you crazy. I don't carry nothing called Martha.
Oh my God.
Anyway, moving along to another topic now. I don't see anything wrong with keeping a gun for protection. Not even a little bit. People used to always ask me why I carried a pistol when I went in the woods. And oh, that's not going to do good much against a bear or a wolf or whatever. I said it's not for the bear or the wolf or anything like that. If I thought one of them were out here, I'd actually have a rifle with me. I said, this is for, you ever seen the movie Deliverance? That's who this is for.
Yeah.
That's who this is for, my friend. They're going to be
Squeal.
city boy, and all of a sudden 30 rounds are going to come out on their ass. They're going to be, holy shit, they're going to be running through the woods.
Got a pretty mouth, boy.
It's,
mouth.
You gotta squeal like a pig.
yeah, he'd have been squealing already, been squealing with his balls hanging on the ground, so I just shot him off.
Ned Beatty would have rolled, man. I don't know if I could do it.
I don't know. I hope they paid him good for that role. I mean, that was
he was humped
he did a good
over.
job. You got to give him credit. Yeah, it's gonna be awesome.
We louder, boy. He's like, wee. I don't know, man. Make a movie like that. I don't know.
He did the part. I got to give him credit. He and it's a part everybody remembers. So, Sharon, where you at? Sharon?
Yeah, it is. That's the understatement right there. That's the part everyone remembers.
Okay, Sharon is in Soho. Are you calling me a Soho girl? Is that what you just said?
Good old Soho.
Soho.
Expensive
Soho.
Soho. People are afraid
Anyway, Miss Sharon, what would you like since we're picking
They're
on
afraid to leave their apartment.
Soho?
They're scared. In Soho.
Christopher, what do you mean? London? No, we're not talking about no Soho that's in London. No, I don't think she's in London. I think she's in
London, Soho.
She's in Soho.
Piccadilly
So what you got for us?
Square. You Piccadilly Hoa.
What is Trump standing on the world? You mean amongst the world leaders? He's top dog.
He's taller than
number 1-0. No fucker with me. I would blow your nuts off. That's what he is.
He's a crazy.
Dude, have you noticed that you don't hear nothing about Zelensky, nor do you hear about Putin, nor do you hear anything about Xi?
So
all
Putin
quiet.
said, Putin, I love Trump. He's the man. First, I want to come on TV and tell everyone I am sorry to hear about Jimmy Carter. He was a great man. No, I mean, he was a great man. And then he goes on about Trump. But I mean, he's what he's actually trying to do is solidify his position so that he has bargaining chips with Trump. So, because he don't want to give all the territory back, he wants to take enough territory that he can say, okay, I'm not going to give it all back, but I'll give this, and this back. But we're keeping this, and this. And Crimea is not even going to be on the table. For
The art of the deal.
But like I said, if I was Trump, I'd say, no. You're going to give it all back, but we're going to give you Crimea just like Hong Kong. I mean, just like the Chinese gave Hong Kong to the Brits. We're going to give you a 150-year lease on it for blah, 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 blah. And you can do whatever you want. It's your
Free gasoline for 10 years, man.
And so, and they can work it out that way. And then it everybody saves face that way. There's no loss of face that way. Because Zelensky is not going to give in unless we completely cut him off and just let Russia overrun him. He's not
free gas for 10 years.
Yeah, that would be good. Free gas.
2 years.
But the Brits, not the Brits, but the Europeans are probably not going to let Russia roll over Zelensky, so we're going to end up in a war. And the U.S. doesn't want to get into a war. The U.S. is like, screw you, Europe. We don't want to get into your little chicken shit wars anymore. Think about it. Every war America has fought has not been on this side of the world.
The Pentagon actually used the term chicken shit.
Well, I'm just saying. I mean, every war that we have fought has not been in the Americas.
Yeah.
I mean, Panama was not a war. Panama was just helping give somebody a country.
Trump wants to take Panama back, and he said he'll use the military to do it. And
Yes.
It's the smartest thing he said, man. I mean, we should never have given up control.
Yeah, you're right, Michelle. He does. He's definitely an arrogant son of a bitch.
Yeah, there's no question about that.
Thank God. You need that. You need it, man.
But that can also get him into trouble. Like you said, if he tries to go too far, if he tries, military action to get Greenland or any other, I mean, there are people who are afraid to do that kind of
There's
thing.
only 50,000 people. You can just pay them, and they'll be okay.
I'm
He
sure
might
if
do
you
that.
ask them, they'd
He
be like,
might
yeah,
just come
sure,
in and
go ahead
say,
do it.
Greenlanders will give each one of you $250,000 if you become an American
It's to
citizen.
their benefit.
250 grand. I'd become a citizen for that.
It's to their benefit.
It's in what is that, Jeffrey? Where is that? Oh no, I see. Never mind. That's LA. I see it. Oh, I seen Burger King's burn. I guess those what do they call them burgers down there? Shithole burgers. California crap burgers. What the hell they call their burgers? In and out. In and out.
In and out. In and out.
Yeah, you know why they call them in and out? Because they go in and then they go out. That's why they call them in and out.
Never had
Look,
one.
Californians, I love y'all, but you just wouldn't know what good food was if God came down and said, "Hey, California, this is good food." You'd go want to go eat some lettuce and with some raw shrimp or something. No, you're just weird. I mean, come on, eat food, people. God put us on here to enjoy food. He didn't say. I never heard him say be skinny. I heard him say go forth and multiply.
I want some
50
soul.
wives, 2,000 kids, 5,000 grandkids. That's what he's talking about. Yes. What's that, John? 50 wives. No, yeah, one wife. That's plenty. No, that's plenty.
I think they should jump on Greenland.
Well, we're going to make an offer to Greenland, and the Dutch may take it. I mean, we're going to probably offer them, whatever we think it's worth. There is oil there. There is a lot of materials there. There is clean water there. So we may offer them maybe 20 billion, maybe 50 billion, unless the citizens vote to succeed, then we won't offer them anything. Then we'll just say your citizens called us and said they want to be part of the United States. Stay the fuck away, period. And we'll start parking ships and tanks and missiles there. And then everybody in Europe can jump up and down. But as long as the citizens say they don't want to be part, there's not much Europe can do but bitch. And I don't know how much Europe's going to bitch anyway. I mean, you got your Donald Trump haters there. You got your Donald Trump supporters. And more governments are getting rid of their really, really lefty leaders. So you're going to see more of a swing towards what he's doing. Maybe not completely right, but you're going to see a good swing. But said, no, Bruce, Canada's going right. Oh, yeah. The guy that's replacing Trudeau, he's a Trump. Yeah, he's like Trump Jr. No, not the guy with the turban. He's not taking over. I don't like him either. He's a fuckface is what he is. Excuse my language, young ladies, but he is. He's an F face. Oh, no, he's racist, too. Come on. He says he's Indian. India won't even let him back in the country. He was born in Canada. He's a Canadian. He don't even really look Indian. He looks weird, actually. The way he's built doesn't. He wears a turban on his head all the time. Yeah, he looks like an idiot. Big puffy mustache. I mean, beard and stuff.
You can keep a lot of stuff in that turban. It's like better than that.
Yes. You can put a 45 in as big as this one is. He's got. Denise Morrison. Denise Morrison, where are you from? Craphole, Washington. Like is Washington, D.C. or Washington State? Craphole, Washington State. Okay, well, now that you told us you're in Craphole.
Craphole?
Is that a real place or just close to the name or something? No, we don't know.
Crab hole.
Anyway, what do you got for us?
Is it Crab Hole? Or
Oh, wait. The reason she's calling it Crab Hole, she said, I don't want to tell you the real name because I'm the only person in town that voted for Trump.
Or Oregon? Oh, Portland.
No, she's in Washington State.
Oh, Washington, Seattle.
She just said Crab Hole.
Seattle for 500.
It probably was Seattle because the rest of the state, it's weird. The big city, of course, in Washington voted blue, but everything else voted red. A lot of California voted red, people. Y'all better go look at that map.
I saw it.
Oh, yeah. And you know what? They just burned out a lot of the blue today, which will be going, well, hopefully leaving the
That's
country.
so weird, man.
Hopefully all of these stars that lost their homes will leave the country. Go live in the UK. UK says they want Americans bad over there. Oh, yeah. Russia said he'll pay you to come live in his country. Oh, yeah. Jamie, that's where you should go, Jamie Lee. You should move to Russia. You kind of look like a Russian girl. It's She was hot when she was young. I don't know. She was never my style woman. And
Who?
she's always
Who?
been Jamie Lee Curtis.
Okay.
She has
She,
great,
she
amazing boobs.
long leg, big
Her,
boobs. You know, I mean, she just
her boobs are the
she,
best things about her. But now she's very old. What is she, like 75 or something?
I
She
don't
was
know. I mean, she still looks good. I'm not hating on her, but I mean,
she's just
it's
undulating on something like look like, and it's just
but she was for some reason she just wasn't the type of woman I was into when I
I
was
like
younger.
ladies, me personally, and ladies don't have all kinds of metal gear in their face and or tattoos on their face or their necks, man. You know, not to not
I'm
I'm
not a
not to
big
knock
tattoo
people
fan.
that do. I'm saying lady. You know what I'm saying? Lady.
Well, I'm not anti tattoo, but I would rather my woman not
I'm
have
talking
any.
about on someone's face. On someone's face. Most of the mugshots I see, people have tattoos
Oh,
on their
like
face. There's
Chakotay,
something to that.
Chakotay. I am Chakotay.
No, I agree with you, Michael. I mean, it's like tattoos are cool, but not on the face. I'm sorry. I draw the line.
Well, I mean, like I said, I don't have a problem with people having tattoos. I just whoever I would marry,
Their
I
face.
would rather they didn't have one. It's because a tattoo means something to people. There's a reason why they got the
On their
tattoo.
face.
Yeah, because they were dumbasses is why they got it on their face. Oh yes, I said that out loud to anybody who wants to give me shit. If you got a tattoo on your face, you're a dumbass. What if they've got tears? Well, you know what? They're still a double dumbass because they're probably in prison for killing someone.
No tourism. California, I got news for you. California's a dead stick. You know,
It's
you
been
got
on its way out,
every
that's for
city in
sure.
California, closed businesses, collapsed hotels. The whole industry is collapsed. And look at San Francisco, look at San Diego, look at all these places. So Hollywood was the only thing keeping it going, really, really. But
Well,
what
Hollywood's still intact, so it's Hollywood's still okay. Everything around Hollywood is getting
they're
fucked.
leaving, dude. They're going. They're leaving, man.
No, John and them. I talk to John every day. They're not. He said that Hollywood's Hollywood. It's still intact.
People are
And
going.
I
Leaving.
was talking to Carmen today too. They said none of them are leaving.
They're going to
The
Georgia. They're going to Florida.
what you see leaving for some reason. I guess it's winds blowing east and not west or not south or whatever the fuck it is. Um, it's not actually blowing towards Hollywood. It's blowing away from Hollywood.
Santa Ana winds, dude. Hurricane force winds, man.
So that's not actually blowing. That's blowing away from where they're at right now. So
Yeah, it's a mess, man. It's a mess. I don't know how they're gonna get control.
now you never know. Wind's got a thing about switching directions and stuff. So it's I don't know. It's rough, but what is that, Jamie? What do you mean? What do you mean? What do you think? Trump's going to pull funding? No, Trump ain't going to pull funding, but Trump's going to give California some shit because they should have been prepared for this. I mean, they've been telling them for decades this was going to happen. I mean, it was ignorance. And then after you read the thing, okay, so this woman makes $750,000 a year to do what? To keep the reservoirs full and the hydrants working. The reservoir was empty and the hydrants weren't working. Yeah, she's going to jail.
If she's not going to jail, she's gonna skip and go to Paris.
Yeah, well, she better do something because they had people dying now. So
Did
now
you hear
it's a
during
criminal.
her press conference though? She's like, "Oh, I got real palsy with the mayor of Paris while I was over there." Like, in the middle of this fire thing, she's all happy. Like, I made friends with the mayor of
all
Paris.
the animals that suffered, and then there's a lot of people unaccounted for. So
it's I don't know, but it's insane, and it shouldn't. I mean, when you look at shit like this, it's like when we were talking about the pumps earlier. Okay, so California's a big state. I imagine they have big pumping companies. I know they have oil companies there, so they have big pumping companies. They could actually went out and got one or two of those big 12 or 16-inch pumps, dropped one about every 10 miles apart in the ocean, and been dumping that much water on everything. I don't. It's just like no one's running this shit. No one knows what's going on.
It's very.
Do they not know what a fucking fire break is? I mean, what?
It's very disorganized, man. Very disorganized. You know, you know what? When you start coaching cities,
put some PK foam down
about emergencies, public emergencies, emergency response. You give them plans to act. Here are these plans. This is what you do. Here's plan A, plan B, plan C. But these the cities that just rely on their own wherewithal, on their own training, and they think they know what to do. But unless you have a plan, you don't know what to do. You need a plan. You can't just say, okay, This is happening now, so I'm going to react, but I don't have any resources.
Having
I don't know
plans are
what
great,
to do.
Michael. And they had lots of plans, but they didn't put any money behind the plans. So you had the plans, you had the fire department. They took
Which is
17.
no plan. They had no plan.
Okay, but wait,
It wasn't funded. They
let's
had
stop. No, wait, let's stop and assess for a few minutes. So from San Diego to San Francisco, there are 11,000 fire trucks. 11,000. On top of that, there are available at the moment 15 tanker planes. The U.S. said they're willing to give them some more. Mexico's sending some as well. And yet they fucking can't control the fire. That's impossible. That can only be negligence. It can't be anything else.
Look at that link I sent you, the flight link, and zoom in over that area. You'll see there's only a couple of flights. There's a helicopter, a Chinook, and then there's like a tanker plane. How come there's not like 40 of them? How come they're just not?
Well, I know. Today when I was watching them, there was 7 tankers flying. I couldn't see any more than those 7, but I didn't watch for that long. I only watched for about an hour, and there were 7 tankers flying. But they didn't even look like they were dumping it. They looked like they were trying to dump ahead of the fire instead of on the fire, which was confusing in itself. If you're going to get ahead of fire, put a line of fire trucks up there. So they have these things. Just to put this in perspective. Now, I know Sean was in the Navy. So in the Navy, everybody learns firefighting. Okay. You have to learn it. If you're on a fucking ship, you have to know firefighting. Everybody goes through firefighting school, just like if you were out of the Navy, you'd go to it.
Yep.
So they have these things that we use to keep the people cool while we're fighting fire. So they got these things that you got the hose and everybody's holding. There's like 5 guys on these hose holding these hoses. And then there's 1 guy or 2 guys holding this thing that sprays sideways and forward. It's like
Those
a big
are called applicator. It's an applicator.
So they just pump a shitload of water all around you. So when you're fighting a big fire, especially a fuel fire in a carrier, you'll see like 3 or 4 of those and 3 or 4 hoses and a lot of PK foam, which I haven't seen any of in this fire whatsoever. And I know there's 3 huge Navy bases right there, which means they have access to literally tons of this shit. And they're not using it. PK foam smothers the fire almost instantly. This shit is fabulous. And I don't know why and this ain't the shit that gives you cancer like the old shit does. So I'm kind of confused on why we're not using this. There's so many things here that doesn't add up. Why hasn't we? I mean, we haven't even called in even in fire trucks from even places like Nevada. Come on. I'm sure Nevada would loan to some. I'm sure New Mexico would. I'm sure Utah would. They could probably have 10,000 trucks there within 2 days. They could probably already have them there. And if they needed more, just like we do in the South when we need electrical companies, we bring in electrician trucks from 20 or 30 states. They can be doing the same thing. Or like when they're fighting in big fires in Northern California. Why aren't we doing that here? Why aren't we using that same application here that we would use for a big fire up Northern California? Why aren't we applying that here? It's almost like somebody's saying, you know what, let it burn. Because I haven't even seen any control.
And you know what? It comes down to look,
Joe. I think several experts are saying this is this is deliberate. I mean, they neglect
deliberate
areas on purpose so that when the fire did happen, they would be the resources they did have would be overwhelmed within hours of the fire starting.
Well, you know what? Look whose house burned completely down. P. Diddy's house went completely up in smoke. It's done.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff.
It's a setup, dude. It's a
What's
setup.
the total of buildings destroyed so far? I mean, hey, Google, how many total buildings destroyed in the California fires?
Sorry, I didn't understand.
She doesn't know. Last total I heard was 9,000. Joe says it's gone up, but 9,000 buildings being destroyed.
Oh, I thought you said 1,000. I don't know if it's over 9,000.
No, I think it was over 9,000 buildings now. That was the last number I heard. That's incredible. I mean, how many buildings are in a city?
It's miles of devastation.
It's almost the whole city, isn't it? I mean, that's
miles and miles of devastation.
Newsom said he's not interested in talking with y'all about fire
to the ground. To the ground. It's incredible. You might see a fireplace standing still. That type of. I've never seen anything like that. It's absolutely heartbreaking to witness. You know.
So Gavin Newsom said he rejected criticism of his handling of the devastating Los Angeles wildfires, saying he is not interested in politicizing Natural disaster. You are so full of shit, Gavin. You
Since-
just don't want to talk about it because you know you blew
Since
it.
when?
Since
Come
he
on.
blew whatever's going on here, he's an idiot. You know, much Chihuahuas probably got more brains than he.
They politicize every shooting. They politicize every storm. They politicize everything. You know what I mean? If they can swing it in their direction. No, because the responsibility's in his lap.
So
He knows it.
here's where the problem's going to
I
start.
don't want
I've been looking for this all day. So House Republicans say Californians shouldn't get any disaster relief unless state changes policies. There should be consequences, and no one should get money out there until everyone from Hurricane Helena has been paid.
Yeah.
So we may see this end up in a big fight in Congress, and since we don't give a shit what California votes, that's how the Republicans look at it. They're not, Californians are mostly liberals. They voted against Trump. So they may find themselves hurting really bad and have to rely on their state money.
63% of all federal welfare dollars go to California to support them. 63%. And it used to be that California was a producer of taxes. That's not anymore, not in a long time. So they're at a deficit. So I mean, they're costing us in a lot of different ways. Now, these insurance, like you said, Joe, these insurance companies are going to claim bankruptcy over the divisions that cover California. They're not going to be able to.
You're right about that, Cio. It's a beautiful state. I mean,
they're not going to be able to afford to rebuild those houses. Okay?
California was one-stop shopping. Now it's shithole shopping.
FEMA's
I love. Here's a story for y'all. So a friend of mine, he bought a place in San Francisco recently because he got transferred, and he's talking about how beautiful it is. Why he hates it there though because he doesn't like California, and he's a Southern boy at heart. He's from deep Florida. He's deep in Florida. He's past Miami, and so he's like, I'm standing there. I'm standing in front of my yard. He said, I live in a gated community. I'm just minding my own business. And this guy comes walking by, looking kind of bummy, but I didn't pay no attention. He said, I was watching my dog and my kid, and I looked down. This guy's taking a shit on my shoe. And he said, the only reason I realized this is because he was trying to use the cuff of my pants to wipe his ass.
Is he like the husband of that woman?
So he said, I pulled back to punch this guy, and then I realized I was in California, and I would probably be the one who went to jail.
Wow.
So I just pushed the guy off him, called my dog and kid, and went inside. I'm like, you're full of shit. He said, no, my wife videotaped the whole thing. Let me send you a copy.
You got to shove the guy's face in it, man. Don't you know how to do that? You shove his face like bad.
The rate people are leaving California. I don't know what's going to happen there. I mean, they're leaving by the droves, and people aren't coming anymore because a lot of people went to California. They wanted to be an actress or an actor. Well, if that's the case, you want to go to Georgia or Louisiana. Going to California, you got a lot less chance of getting there. Right now, Georgia's a state to go. If you want to make a movie or you want to be an actor, that's a state to be in. And they're just growing the industry.
Believe it or not, Canada is the place to be if you want to.
Well, Canada, when it comes to sci-fi, especially sci-fi, Canada makes a lot of movies.
Canada number one, and they'll use you because there's not a lot of people there doing it. And as a matter of fact, when they make a movie in Canada, they're supposed to use 50% of the people in the movie from Canada. So if you're a Canadian, that works out for you.
Well, think about it. When you see a lot of these sci-fi actors and actresses, they are Canadians or Australians or somewhere from the Commonwealth anyway. But a lot of them are Americans too. So, and I mean, if America's got certain stars they're going to use that, or they're just going to go somewhere else.
One of my favorite bands, man, Rush, is from Canada.
I thought you were going to say ABBA, Mike. Give me a break.
Rush.
There you go.
From Sweden, aren't they? From Sweden?
I don't
They're
know
from
where they're from.
That's
I'd be lying to you. What's that, Jesse?
They're from Sweden.
No, I mean, no. Why do you think it's called the chat? That's why we call the show the chat, because we were just chatting today.
We started off
a wide range of
started off with a
topics.
6-foot cock.
So before we leave, though, because I know we're going to get out of here. I'm not touching that again, even though I said that at the beginning of the show. I'm not touching that at the end of the show either. I'm just going to leave that alone altogether. But we need to go back to the Brooklyn fires now. So, what was it? 5 apartment complexes burnt down?
Yeah.
Oh, what the hell? So what the hell happened? There's another one of these hop, skip, and jump. Well, look, at least New York got it under control. It didn't burn down half the city. New York, I gotta say, y'all are better than in Los Angeles. Oh, ain't that some shit, man?
Hey, you know what? Pittsburgh has some good firefighters.
I bet you they do. I know y'all
They
got
do.
some good linemen, man, because we get y'all's linemen all the time down here. I met a bunch of
Yeah.
guys from Pennsylvania down here working. And one of the guys was saying, yeah, we used to dangerous. We got to go out work in the fucking snow.
Yeah.
I said, at least it's warm down. He said, it ain't warm, dude. It is hot. It is a little rough when you first come down.
Winter, you know what? You see a lot of fires in winter. People will heat their homes with their ovens and stuff like that, or get
Yeah.
when it comes to that. So
Gas ovens are notorious for that kind of shit.
especially in poor neighborhoods, and those houses are so close together. When they burn, they burn. You know?
Marsha, where are you from, Marsha? You know the rules. If you're in the messenger, you got to tell us where you're from. Where you from,
Marsha.
Are you like one of the Brady Bunch Marshas? Is that no? Where Chicago. Oh, have you wrote into us to talk about that fucking asshole of a mayor you got?
Chicago?
Yes, I can curse on this show. Who said you spite me? How's that?
Chicago.
I don't curse on my other shows except for
You
news
love
and what's
Chicago.
So
Deep dish pizza.
he's an idiot.
So
So I don't know who's going to run your city. I hope y'all got a lieutenant mayor because the new guy said he's going to put him in jail.
they're all idiots. They're all idiots.
So they've said this, and they've been warning now, and I got to give Trump's people credit. They have been telling them consistently, you interfere with ICE, you go to jail. State government does not supersede federal mandates. This is a federal mandate. If you get in the way, you go to jail. And the Colorado governor was running their mouth and didn't believe it and had the lawyer come on, and the lawyer said, oh, no, it's a federal mandate. You don't abide by the federal mandate, you go to jail. So now his own lawyer told him on television that you do it, you're going to go to jail.
Yeah.
Because Gavin was talking about it, and all of a sudden Gavin shut up about it because Gavin found out, guess what? You can go to jail. And this guy, he looks like an ass. He looks like he'll put you in jail. I mean, Trump will probably let you out the next day, but this guy looks like he'll put you in jail just to teach you a lesson.
Yeah.
Lock
I
you
like
up in some
him.
Fed pin somewhere.
Oh, CL, we always get flagged, buddy.
They're already
Bad. We
We
bad boys.
always
We
get
bad boys.
flagged.
Well, it's because we don't have no girls with us now. Usually we have a
Yes,
female with us.
CL, so come on with us, buddy.
Yeah, you big chicken, CL.
Yeah, CL, come on on. Come on that.
See, I was like, I should have never said anything to these assholes. Actually, I'm a very nice guy, and I don't usually curse, but
We need to
I
get a
like that I
medium.
get to get out on
We need
this.
to get a medium, then we need to channel a few of the prior hosts, man.
We're not channeling none of the ex-hosts in his network, man.
Right.
They're evil. Because they're evil, man. We're not bringing no evil back.
It'd be interesting as hell. wouldn't
Donnie, he's talking about a friend of ours, a mutual friend of ours. She used to be a manager on the network, Stephanie
it? I didn't say her name.
Benetti. Stephanie
You say her name
Benetti.
3 times, she shows up.
Stephanie Benetti. Actually, no, she's a very good friend of mine. We were very close. We were very tight. She just had some issues she had to deal with.
CL
And then she died.
CL says you don't want to hear my comments about California leadership right
Oh yes, we do. We want to hear everybody's comments. See, one of the things that's so nice about being on this network is we don't really care what your political views are. We'll either agree or we'll disagree, and we've all learned over the years to just agree to disagree instead of trying to kill each other. But the only one that gets a little crazy sometimes is Jay's girlfriend, Jeffrey.
now.
He gets, whoo, man. Oh, well, actually, Jeffrey's girlfriend, wham. Oh, my God. Now, I'm a centrist, like I said, so I hate on everybody. And I can be a righty or a lefty sometimes, depending on the topic. But she
You're
is
just
so
covering
liberal.
your ass. That's all you're doing.
She's so no. I have never met someone this liberal before. I mean, she is. Well, she's an English teacher in New York, or not a teacher, a professor.
College professor, not
Yes,
just
she's a professor, college professor. She's very smart. She's very bright, and when it comes to politics, she's an idiot. But I love her to death anyway, and she's still on our network, so we don't really care what your political views are. It's not a prerequisite to keep you hired. If that's what somebody asked me a little while ago, we don't care. Religion and politics is your own personal views. If you want to express it on panels, that's fine. If you don't, that's fine. We don't force the issue because a bunch of us are right on the edge, either right or left or in the middle. So it makes it more fun that way. Oh, I got some crazy right friends. Oh no, Kareem. Oh no. I mean, I've got some crazy liberal friends, but I've got some crazy conservative friends. They make the megas look like they're normal. Oh God. Oh no, I'm telling y'all don't know. They're nuts, man. Shit, they make the liberals look sane. I mean, the AOC might be smarter than some of them. Michael, I don't dislike AOC. She's hot, but she's just not intelligent. Oh, you really asking me that question? What's the
See,
number
Prof,
one? Okay, I'll answer that. I'll answer that. Kareem, I'll answer that because you're female. I'll answer the question that you asked. Is intelligence? Yes. You asked me what is my number one attractive thing towards a woman, and it's intelligence. I like a person who can carry a conversation with me, argue with me, and even win sometimes. Yes. Yeah, I can't help it. It's a thing. I came from a lot of strong-willed women. Expect that. It's just one of them things. Yeah, I came from a family, and I've raised a family full of them. Yeah, in some ways, I got an unfair advantage when it comes to females. I was raised by like 8 of them, and I raised like 9 of them. So, yeah, it's there's a lot of things. I'm a guy that I should not know. Just trust me when I tell you this. Just shouldn't know. Plus, my best friend always tells me, "You sure you're not gay? You know more about fashion than I do." I look at her every time like, I'm going to slap you. You know that, right? No, Carl. No one's ever accused me of being gay.
how many ties do you have, Joe?
Huh?
How many ties do you have?
Let me see. Can you see? Let's see. I don't know if you can see it.
He's always wearing a different tie.
The door shuts. So you might be able to see this. It's not all of it. Let's see. Well, let's get the camera to come back on. Okay, they're hanging on the door over there.
Holy shit, man!
It's about that group right there is about 75. There's a couple on the chair over there. And there's some of the closet over there.
That's just too many ties, brother.
Oh, dude, you gotta have a tie. And actually, this isn't about the tie usually wear.
Oh man, ties? No.
But you know that, right? Ties are moods.
Or what?
They're like moods. It's like, girls like to wear certain underwear when they're doing certain things. Same thing with ties. No, Ginny, you just be an ass. That's what I mean. God, we got some pervs in the audience tonight. I'm telling you what. No, we do. And the California leadership sucks. It's we're gonna hang out for about another 10 minutes, but California, it's making me crazy. I don't know what happened in California. California, we should call it formerly the great state of California. It was a great state. Everybody wanted to live there. The whole freaking union wanted to live there at one time.
Yeah, when did it switch? I mean, was there a time frame we can narrow down to where it became a shithole?
The last 2 decades is when it really became
when
a
Hollywood grew.
Yeah, probably had a lot to do with a lot of money coming in.
Yeah, when it was probably always corrupt. I mean, if you look back, like I said on other shows, how they passed around, certain female actors and actresses as party favors in the 30s, 40s, 50s.
Oh.
I mean, the place was like, just a place, a misogyny pit.
See, I would think New York would have been really big back in the 30s and 40s for
well, New York is the largest city in the United States.
They moved to California for the weather.
But I mean, population-wise, city-wise, New York's still the biggest city in the U.S. But as far as state-wise,
remember the Great Divide. I mean, the Hollywood wasn't really fully Hollywood until Johnny Carson left New York City. Most of the TV shows of the time, especially late shows, Johnny Carson, Ed Sullivan, Perry Como.
Well, there's still a lot of TV shows done out of New York.
But these were all filmed on the East Coast. They were all filmed in New York.
Man.
And then
one live show at night
slowly trickling into California. Ed Sullivan went first, and then Perry Como, and eventually, I think was it in the 70s is when Johnny Carson finally left New York.
Saturday Night Live, man, they stink.
Saturday Night Live is still in New York, yeah.
Yeah, they are. A lot of people still in. Even Sean Hannity's still in New York. which he'd rather be in Florida. He says it all the time.
I don't like him
But
either.
New York's losing out too. I mean, a lot of their stuff is going to Florida.
Saturday
and-
night vibe, just
I don't know what happened
after
Saturday.
Aykroyd and all them, it just died.
No, there were some good people on there. I mean, there was
The only funny guy on Saturday Night Live now
Chris
is
Rock was
Keenan.
on there. What's his
He's a
face?
black guy.
Eddie Murphy was on there. There was a couple of comedians even closer to now that were on
Eddie
there.
Murphy's okay. He's not
Well,
like
he wasn't great, but he was funny. But what I'm saying is they weren't the political thing they are today. Even though they made fun of politics back in the day, today they have taken a stance. In the last 20 years, SNL has taken a political stance as being a left-leaning organization.
Go woke, go broke.
So, and that's what happened, and that's why they're not as big or as famous as they used to be.
Yeah.
You're so right, CL.
You are
You're
about
so
that,
right.
Definitely
Yes,
right.
you are.
Well, I mean,
They're called
look at the last
influencers
election.
now.
Now
they're
the last-
influencers, man. Hollywood is dead. You know what? Don't
It
you see
is.
what's happened? It's influencers that they don't even have to go act or make a movie. They're out there influencing children.
yeah, but they're not making the money that Hollywood's people are.
But they're
It's,
influencing is the more important word. Is that they're not out there entertaining? They're out there influencing your thoughts, your decisions, the things that you like, things you don't like. Who needs
God,
that?
man, how many people are we
Who
influencing?
needs that?
People
needs
don't
that?
listen to us. We're just here to have fun. We're just yeah, don't listen to us. We're just here to have
Who
fun.
needs that in their life?
It's
That's funny. That's fun.
well, I don't want you to. No, I mean we really were. What,
Joe Montaldo is my hero.
Joe's.
mean,
Who's that guy? Joe, where'd you go?
Joe
He's around
Montaldo
here
is
somewhere.
my hero, man. I've learned
It's,
everything about podcasting from Joe Montaldo.
Podcasting's easy as long as you know you're not too scary. CL's got a good show going these days. I see she's balanced out and calmed down and just kicking ass.
Yeah.
Quite a few of the hosts are doing real well right now. Her numbers are good too. I was looking at them. Actually, I was talking to. Damn, you should have been burning the other night. CL, Michelle and I were talking about you.
Joe?
Oh, look at the kitty cat, the baby.
That's one of our latest co-hosts. Isn't she getting pretty good numbers?
I know she's doing good. She's the kitty cat. She's like, I'm out of here, dude.
Yeah.
Like, fuck you, buddy. I'm out of here.
Joe.
She's like, she just gave him the finger and all that. That's funny.
And that's the one that lets out farts that will make the dogs.
Oh my god. It's
Yeah, me and CL kick ass on Tuesday nights.
yeah, between y'all something like 800,000 between the two of y'all, I think.
I know that.
So right around there. Closer to 9, I think, these days.
CL,
Yeah, you're
would
doing
you
a great
like
job. I'm gonna stop by one day to torch you. I've been preoccupied lately.
CL, would
and,
you like to come on my show on a Sunday night? Into the night. Would you like to come on as a guest?
Janet Reno. Where'd you get that name from? Who the hell
Oh my
uses
God,
Janet
that's
Reno?
old. That's what.
I
That's
mean, what are you, like 100? 25. You're a fan of Janet Reno at 25. Really? I just don't believe that bullshit.
CL says yes, she would love to, and vice
Yeah,
versa.
go on there. Yeah, yeah.
Wait.
Get on there. Oh my God,
Sweet.
I'm in trouble now. I can see now.
You're right. You got the best crew on Tuesday night. I mean, me and
Who else is
CL.
with y'all? There's 2 other shows on Tuesday now, right? Or 1, 2. Who
Two.
else is there? There's
Who's
2 other
after
shows.
CL? Who's after CL? I know there's
Nobody's
somebody-
after CL. No, Jay and I thought about putting this show there, but it's too late.
Yeah, I wouldn't be able to do it.
No,
Yeah,
shit,
I
we wouldn't
either.
be able to
Have
do
work
it.
have to be up
We all got to
5:30
work the next
during
day.
the week.
I don't know. I know there's 2 shows before y'all. For some reason, they're not coming into my head. But Michelle keeps changing shows all the time. She moves them around, changes them, gets new people, writes to me. Hey, guess what? I'm like, oh yeah, cool book. And then she asked me for numbers for a show. I'm like, well, I never heard that fucking show. Who's that?
You know what, Joe? I will tell you in front of everybody
I
that
love you,
my listeners seriously are looking for me to get an extra half hour on my hour.
Well, where you can't do it, there's no way you can do it. You're in the middle.
Yeah, I try.
You would have to talk into this lady we're talking to right now to move back a half hour.
No, I wouldn't do that to her. I would not do it.
Now, the only other option you got is to talk to Karen on ATP and see if she'd go back a half an hour, but it doesn't work that way because if she goes back a half hour, so does
Right.
the other Sean.
But then again, I thought about it. So I can do
Or
part
you can
one on a Sunday, and then do part two on a Tuesday.
By the way, see, I like your intro. I use it as a promo for you, by the way. So we got it. Pretty soon I'm gonna make Michelle have a station meeting so I can get everybody up to speed on everything. But so if you listen to any of our shows at breaks, we actually have promos playing. So we're actually promoing as many shows as we can without boring the piss out of our audience.
I put 4 up.
And so I would tell you if I could stop moving stuff around on my damn computer. Sorry, guys, that was a little aggravating there. I'll have to show one of these days. I got to show everybody how to use Rumble. It's great. It does well, and it does better live than it does on reruns. Because I post reruns from time to time, but it doesn't seem like this is.
What's out there? What creates the shadows in the corners or the creatures of the dark? Who are those on the other side? What do they have to say? This is the Gateway Podcast. This is not your normal style of paranormal talk radio. Brought to you live from United Public Radio Network, 107.7 FM New Orleans.
If she gets up in the front like that, scares the hell out of me. Like, oh, God,
oh come on, Joe. How could you say such a thing?
No, Jimmy, Ciel's when we've been talking to in the audience. Yes, she's really nice. She's got a really good show. You should go check it out. Yeah, it's a lot of fun to listen to. Oh, and then we got this dark, evil bastard here.
This is the United Public Radio Network, 107.7 FM in New Orleans and 105.3 in the Gulf Coast. UPRN talkradio.com. Esoteric programming at its finest.
Is that you?
No, it's not me. That's another host on the network. It's hey, Christy Bailey, what you doing? It's why are you on my screen? Get off my screen, chick. What the hell is going on here? Okay, I don't know. Now my Facebook is just randomly throwing stuff up. No, I mean they're cool. They got a lot of good ones, but everybody should have promos. It always sounds good. It always looks good.
Yep.
It makes everybody look good. I mean, Denise, yeah, I have one. I've got one. Yeah, I've been having for a long time.
I like your long version intro of the song. My name Joe Montaldo.
Oh, that's the opening song. That was made by Ian a long time ago. Ian made it. He thought he was gonna make me mad. So I was hosting Wake Up USA, a UFO study at the time. And he posted it online to everybody, and somebody sent it to me saying, "You're gonna be so pissed." And I'm listening to it, and I'm laughing my nuts off because I actually was talking the 2 nights before about that experience in Honey Island Swamp. That's what that was. And he took the experience and transformed it into the song, ad-libbing a little bit here and there. And he sent, and when I got it, he thought I was going to be seriously pissed because he was trying to get it offline. And I called him up because he lived in the UK. I said, "Ian, can I use this for the opening for my show?" He's like, and he just started laughing. He said, "Everybody said you were going to be mad. I was trying to be." I said, "Dude, this is fucking hilarious. I love this." I said, "I'm going to be on Coast to Coast in 2 weeks. Let me bring it with me out and they can debut on Coast to Coast." He's like, "You're shitting me, right?" I'm like, "No, come on." He's like, "Yeah, okay, you can use it." And I've been using it ever since. And the second song, which is Show Yourself, which is about an abductee, was also written intentionally for the show. So both the songs I use are actually designed for the show itself. And all the intros were done professionally. So company we made a deal with to do intros for the network at the time in exchange for advertisement for their company. So it was nice. It works out good. Every now and then you catch a good deal like that with somebody, you can work it out. And of course, we all know who this is. She's a bad girl.
When they are consuming your minds and your thoughts and your dreams, from the angels to the demons and to the mysteries unseen, There is no need to worry. There is no need for dread. It's just time to discuss the thing at the foot of the bed.
The thing at the foot. The foot of the bed. Anyway, guys, we got to get out of here in just a minute.
All right,
Those are
guys.
just promos. We're already 15 minutes past the top of the hour, so we got to go. Just puts me on for, you can come in, baby. It puts me on for about 4.5 hours, so we're going to get out of here. But I just want to tell everyone thanks for tuning in to United Public
Yes.
Radio.
Thank
and
you.
The chat. We got the boys with us tonight, so you can see them all. We'll all be around somewhere or another. I know a couple of us will be back on Wednesday, and Sean will be back on Tuesday.
Sunday tomorrow, buddy.
Oh, no, it is tomorrow. That's right. I forgot. Sunday. Here we are tomorrow. Yes, I forgot about that. Oh, I'll be on tomorrow. I'm going to be on Karen Swan's show tomorrow.
We're right in the
on
smack in the middle
ATV.
of the week on Saturday.
Yes. Hey, U.S. Army vet, how you doing? Yeah.
I will hit you
So
up.
y'all be sure to come
I'll hit
listen
you
to
up.
me tomorrow. I'm gonna be on out. I'll be on before Sean, I guess, right?
Yeah.
Or you won't? Yeah. So I'll be on with Karen tomorrow on her show. So y'all come check it out. We're going to be talking about why aliens like girls. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. God knows it. She's the host, so we're going to talk about whatever she wants to talk about. But anyway, on that note, goodbye and again, thank you for tuning in to United Public Radio. They're chatting. Have a good cold week coming up.
Good night.